Hello, all. Welcome to the wonderful souls of Panorama Shizne family. So, we just had a great event and we want to just talk about it. So, first segment is about talking all positives for the first 15 minutes. And after that, we'll talk constructive feedback. So, let's not mix both of them. So, we'll only talk positives for first segment, everybody positive. And the next 15 minutes, we'll talk about the constructive feedback. Oh, where is Swapna Garu? Swapna Garu is joining?
Her phone is going into voicemail and he tried calling her.
Oh, okay. Just a second. Okay, no problem. Yeah. Let us get started. Yeah, Nandini, you can go ahead.
Thanks actually to both of you, like Srini, Abhishek, and Arun, for making it a wonderful event, and Swapna. The first and foremost thing is the footprint. So it was a great kind of footprints, a lot of crowd. Second thing is I think we did better in the food than before, and then arrangements were good and we were more organized in terms of handling the stage, like transitions within the stage, and uh, and uh, and overall, I think, overall the experience was good. Like from our organization perspective, right? Like from entertainment perspective, well, it was Paisa Vasool, definitely. Like the star was really, really good. So yeah, that's it from my hands.
Wow, that was quick. Thank you. Those are good feelings. So yeah, Abhigaru, you want to go?
Hey, Srinigaru. Hey, everyone. Yeah, so constructive would be the same thing. The reason why we were interested for Elysium is also because the feedback we got for jammers, right? I mean, like initially when you guys did this masala coffee, when we did jammers, I mean, only reason we both agreed and did Elysium because I mean, we got good feedback that, okay, bands, though lesser people are coming, they were like keen to see those kind of events happen. And I think Elysium was that perfect example where crowd came and we had basically zero complaints. I don't think Srinigaru had any complaints from any people who came there. And it's the same with us. Like there are like a lot of people who come to our events also came to Elysium and everyone had a blast. So it's all good signs and it's sign that the events, people want to go to events, they want to go and enjoy at the events. So it's all good. And organizing point of view also, I mean, it was, I mean, definitely we had a better experience than we worked with UB Entertainment for jammers. So they were not from Michigan. I mean, they came from Texas and just day on the event, and we couldn't get too much help. But I think a lot of people from Panorama, they helped us a lot in like arrangements and emceeing and a lot of other things, like rider and like set up everything. So I think it was great working with the Panorama team. And I think Arun is not here, but I think we both are in same opinion that, yeah, definitely it's something we would be looking forward to work again with Panorama team for in the future events as well.
Yeah, that's great, Abhi. So nice of you. It's a great example for collaboration as well that we have set.
Yeah. I mean, I was talking to Sunigaru just yesterday. I was talking, and every month actually we get 3 to 4 calls minimum. People ask us how is there a way to invest, and I mean, it is like the mindset needs to match as well, right? So I think the team here on this call and whom we work with the Elysium, I think we share like a similar mindset, and I think that is important to partner and make an event successful, right? I mean, just because someone has money, just putting money and not doing anything, or if the mindset is not matching, we can't go too long in the partnership. So we are very mindful of whom we work with, and definitely Panorama is one such team we definitely want to work in the future.
Yeah, great, Abhi. So if anybody else has any time constraint, they can go first. So the format that we are following is we'll speak only about the positives in the first segment. And after 15 minutes, everybody gives constructive feedback. So it's like the next 10, 15 minutes will be all positive feelings about the event. And after that, all constructive feedback. That's how we are structuring. Okay, if anybody has a time constraint, they can go ahead to express themselves.
Yeah, I can go next. I mean, I would say that I very strongly.
Tell your name also, ma'am. I think there are people.
Oh, okay. I thought that I was so famous that people would know by my voice. Okay, sorry. This is Julan. My first thing is that I'm not Telugu. I did not understand half of the songs, but I would say from a third person perspective, as a viewer, as an audience, it was such a nice feeling. I feel strongly, which what I started off with, that with moments and memories. Like when you create those moments, it will go down your memory lane. So that was like, for me, I'm not a very concert kind of a person, and I have my inhibitions, but I would say this concert left that very smooth, a very relaxing and happiness filled memory. So that is important. That's why I think it's successful. Whatever it is, whatever you have done, even the calls that I was in, it was so inspiring, with people just coming in. 8 o'clock, yes, I will be there. 9 o'clock, I will be there. 11 o'clock, I will be there. 12 o'clock, I will be there. And night, 3 o'clock, I will be there. So hearing that kind of positivity, what you get back is that when you want to give back to the community, that stays on that positive thing that you learn from that group. And I think that this group absolutely represents what Srini is a great proponent of, is group activity, community, and at the end, it leads to happiness. So amazing, amazing work. I did not go to the masala coffee, so I cannot compare, but as it is one program, it was amazing. Congratulations, and absolutely great people to be there, and the food was awesome too. Yeah, that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, that is Julan Chatterjee from Farmington. Okay. So, okay, welcome, Arun. So we were praising you till now, but later it's all constructive feedback. So please hang on.
Sure. Yeah, sorry, I got in late.
Amazing.
So I want to add, seeing his patience backstage, that was something that I had to say, since he was not there. It's so calm, and he's like answering questions, taking care. So amazing work.
Good. Thank you, Julan. And whoever has time constraint, they can go first. Okay, who wants to go next to share your positive feedback? Okay, if nobody says, then I will just go ahead and ask for.
Hello?
Okay, yes, yeah, Renuka, please go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm sorry I got late in joining the meeting. Did you ask about who wants to share their positive feedback?
Yes, positive feelings, but you have to tell your full name and your location. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes. My full name is Renuka Subhash. My current location that I'm doing the Zoom call in is Farmington Hills, but I'm a resident of Troy. Troy, Michigan, and I think I'm new to this group, but my positive feedback for the event would be it was a great environment, right from the ticketing, which went on very smoothly. I thought everything was handled very well. The seating was comfortable. It was apt. And I think the people who did not pay for the VIP seats respected that and never took the liberty of taking unoccupied seats, the VIP's place. They were all standing, which was very nice. The food was just right. The items there I thought were apt for the occasion. When the dance floor was open, I started to dance. For me as a person, I really enjoyed where the ladies were welcoming everybody, and I met some wonderful ladies on the dance floor, and we all just held hands and we were swaying for a bit. And I don't know, I just loved it. I loved the feeling of being inclusive, and it just felt great.
Renuka, did I meet you?
I think you did.
I think we all held hand together. I
Yeah.
guess.
I think we all did.
Yeah, if you
So
want,
those great ladies, she's referring to you
Can
and
you
me,
send me your
Madhuri.
picture? I want to. Maybe I must have seen you.
Yes. All the great ladies are all here, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was one of my starting feedbacks for the event.
great. Thank you, Renuka. And yeah, the VIP seating, I have to say, the discussion thread started. I think Nandini gave some feedback, and then Arun, Abhi, a lot of the people, and finally Arun. I think Arun is the one who suggested how to partition it to make it, like center. It definitely worked out well, I think.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, because I mean, VIPs got. I mean, they. They always wanted a certain. I mean, we need to have some space like that. But of course, there are some challenges with that. We'll discuss later after 10 minutes in the constructive feedback.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, it went very well. Good job, Arun and team. So, yeah, next, Vaijayanti, you want to go? I think Satish had to go log off. Okay, Vaijayanti.
Yeah, hi. Sorry, I was trying to unmute myself. First of all, congratulations on behalf of Satish and I. Absolutely amazingly put together event, Srini and Shizney team. I haven't had a chance to really head out to the clubbing when they are constantly DJing, but hopefully you'll see me there soon. I think just the energy that you bring together with events like this, you're already making a mark in the community for what we both know is accepted well and is a necessity in the community. I think you've just figured out a niche product to bring to them, and which kind of parlays across all age groups. Of course, the younger ones are much more out there, especially the student community. I mean, you'll end up discounting them, and I guess the ones who sort of come in right from India, probably, to study here and stuff like that, something like this kind of definitely makes them feel at home. So that, I would say, is another great way of parlaying this events like this to the youngsters. And anything else you'll bring along, I'm sure you'll start seeing their support from that angle also. But overall, fortunately or unfortunately, we've not, rather unfortunately is what I would say, we've not had a chance to kind of get deep into the planning process. But hopefully, as things move along, we might be able to get involved a little bit more, which is what we both want to do. It's just that, we're already taken on too much and didn't get a chance to kind of, jump in there with you guys. But the youngsters, everyone who's been a part of Panorama family, I can just see the vibe is amazing. And the way each one is kind of working with each other. And that really kudos to you, Srini, the way you put it across and make everybody comfortable. All that matters, and like I said, the experience of having worked with so many different kinds of entertainment and teams together, I can tell you this is already set to go a long way. So kudos and congrats again on a fantastic event.
Yeah, very well summarized, Vaisuji. And the energy factor, right? I think you hit it on the nail. Actually, yeah, that is true. That is what has been resonating so well. And yeah, of course, special thank you to our collaboration partner Shizney.
Yes.
Yeah, and definitely, I think the teamwork. Yes, yeah, we definitely have challenges always in any teamwork, some misunderstandings, but I think we are overcoming. For every event, I think we are overcoming them because we feel the bigger vision is more important than our.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I guess, you know what? You will also start recognizing that there's more than one person who probably, there'll be quite a person who may not be used to kind of stepping up and wanting to take the helm. But I'm sure as you go along, you will start finding the, how and who and how can actually lead in various ways, which you already are. I will tell you that. But, just giving that opportunity, because everyone who comes in, obviously likes to be there, seen at the helm of things. And the backpatting you do is amazing, which is what is very required to kind of keep them going. I mean, this is all just a side gig thing, right? Nobody is in it for, it's all voluntary work, and they are enjoying, each one of us is enjoying and getting to know new people. So all that will just keep coming together, like you said, there are challenges, but it's not something that cannot be overtaken over the period of time. And as we get to know each other well, things will change that also. A lot of those will be like, okay, this person knows how to do this, and let's just leave it to that person. So that you will start seeing a bit of that happening too.
Yeah, definitely. And though you are not able to participate in the planning sessions and all, but you both just being there and then supporting, and then with your extensive network on social media, everything helps. I mean, it's like
Thank you.
Everything helps, and nobody needs to feel. I mean, we want to keep it as simple and natural. Based on their schedule, naturally people can find the time based on their schedule. So it's a
Correct.
simple unconditional team synergies is what and we don't want to judge at any point
Oh,
of time.
perfect. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I mean, even if somebody wants to be there, sometimes, some
Yeah.
other situations don't allow for it to happen. So these things are bound to. But then, with how rapidly you are constantly bringing in these shows, it's definitely going to work well that everybody who wants to be involved will get an opportunity to be a part of things in a much bigger way as they would like to picture for themselves, So that is certainly some of the feedback. And band, amazing, absolutely amazing. It was just, though it was mostly the Telugu songs, they were all the ones that was in Hindi and in Tamil too. So familiarity was not an issue, but a very absolutely no banda whatsoever, and that is just amazing to see in these people who have kind of tasted success so quickly, with the amount of concerts that they have done. For that, I think, he just, especially taking pictures in the backstage, Dinkar was just, I mean, so calm and made sure that he said yes to every one of them and took care of it. It's not often that we see, because we've kind of seen artists on all different levels, right? So, and felt what the backstage can be at all these different programs. But really great. You can definitely pass that feedback on to them as to how loud they were by everybody who attended it.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Okay.
Sure.
Who next? Anybody has a time constraint, they can go first. We want to make it as user friendly as possible. Okay. If nobody speaks, then we'll ask Bhargav.
Yeah, hi. Hello, Srinivas. Yeah, so from my point, I mean, this is my first event. I mean, to be part of the Panorama family, and and great to be part of this group as well. And the things that went well. So starting from the coordinating part, like coordinating the band with the and coordinating the events, like making sure everything falls in place at the right time. So that thing went really well. Actually, that's from my side. I mean, that's what I felt. And yeah, as everyone mentioned, the energy of the band is very good. Yep, those are the points that I have.
Yeah, and thank you, Bhargav Garu. Though it's first time, I think you took up as much as responsibilities as you can do. I think you went to the airport, and then evening again you dropped off wherever you could, managing your kid and other aspects.
Oh yeah.
So, of gratitude from Panorama Shizne families. Okay, sounds good. Next, Madhvi Garu, you want to go?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Yeah, my feedback, constructive feedback is like,
No,
yeah,
positive.
everything yeah. I am like aligned with everybody on the whatever they said so far. There were one couple of things I'll add to that is I felt like this time the crowd is too much. It was too much crowd. So that was awesome, but this place is small. Is too much crowd, and especially a lot of youth. A lot of youth was there in this. Then compared to the last one, and the singer was awesome. Divakar, right? Divakar or Dinkar? Sorry, Dinkar, right?
Yes.
He's too good. He's too good, and basically it's like a one-man show there. The rest of them are supporting him, but yeah. So a lot of Telugu songs and lot of songs that were like from college days, and also I felt like most of. So he was asking who is from college, and we all raised our hand. That was fun. So it was fun, obviously, definitely. And then working with all of you. One thing is like usually when you work in groups or some of the organizations, there will be a lot of things going on in the background, like a lot of, I would call that, yeah, you can put that politics in the course, but with the Srini Garu anytime, we would not have that. It's like kind of transparent, and it's like everybody gets their time shared to do things, and like that's what I feel with this group. Everybody is awesome, and there is nothing like that, which usually is not encouraged in any of these groups he maintains. So that was one good thing that I want to add there. And yeah, so and meeting Abhishek and Arun, yeah, the DJ was too good too. After that, when we did for the previous event, I don't know, I was not there for a while. I left after the masala coffee, but this one we stayed, and I had to like pull Nandini for a long lot of times to get going, because those songs were like they're like they keep on going, moving to the nice next, better next. I mean, the best ones, right? Best ones go keep on coming. She doesn't want to move.
I
So
captured video of Nandini, crying, and then you are trying to, pull her into the car out, out of venue. All that video I have.
yes. So the DJ was awesome, and a good job, Arun and Abhi, for that. And yeah, I mean, and the whole group is. It doesn't matter. The age doesn't matter. It's just like everybody. I felt like is like a youth in the group. So that's the energies that they have. So it's with the energies. That's what I felt.
Yeah.
And absolutely awesome MCs that we have on the stage, and that was good too. So my first experience there with especially these kind of concerts. So thank you, Srinigaru, for that. And I couldn't hear most of what I'm saying, so which is a different story. It took me a while to understand. Yeah, that they were able to hear me, but I didn't understand what I couldn't follow what they were hearing or not. So
yeah, so I mean, kudos to your stage presence of mind, also the way you connected and gave a teaser to them, panorama, Vijorama connection, and all that. That was good.
Yeah.
So also you mentioned about group many times. Oh, group, I like this group, I like this group. But definitely, one place where you may not like group is when it is group picture compared to your solo picture.
No,
Too
I called everyone up on stage. That's why I'm asking, where is Renuka in the picture?
many solo pictures, and I think
Right.
that
Were you in
double.
the group picture, Renuka? That's why I'm trying to understand. Yeah. So
No,
maybe I
actually,
missed.
the members did not come. Deepthi, Panorama family members, Deepthi and Bhargav also. I don't know whether he came.
Bhargav, I think, came up for the picture, right? I mean, not like on the stage, I was calling everybody, right? They're calling every Panorama family member to come to the stage for the group picture. So, yeah, I don't know.
Good. Thank you, Madhavi Garu.
But
Okay.
but if you want to hear the other feedback also, the place is quite small for such. But it's a nice, cozy place, but it's small. It's quite small.
Yeah, maybe I can answer that. I think Srinigaru actually put a lot of effort on that. And that time we were still thinking whether to do Elysium or not. And I think he had like less than 3 weeks or something. And I think in 3 weeks, especially during summertime in Michigan, you can't find good venues. So we also inquired at the other venue where Masala Coffee Jammers was done. That was booked and all. So yeah, I mean, we just wanted it to be closer to Farmington Hills and Novi area where a lot of like, especially Telugu audience, they live like younger crowd, right? So I think, I mean, to be frank, Shizne did not do anything much effort to find a venue, but I think Srinigaru had like, spent a lot of time calling a lot of people on venues, and we were glad at least he was able to find something, and we were able to move forward with the event. So I think that's just the 2 cents, I would say.
Maybe you're right, Abhi. Maybe kids must have joined. All these college kids must have joined because
No,
it's
so
in that
the
area.
crowd, no, the crowd is that is the crowd we get. I mean,
Right.
the DJ nights, what we do, like 95% of the crowd is what came for jammers, right? Like it's a younger crowd, what it comes.
Right.
So the crowd point of view, I mean, obviously we were involved in marketing and also, yeah, the crowd like got pulled through various ways. But I'm talking about the venue part. I mean, we understand that it was a bit crowded. But I mean, yeah, I mean, in future, maybe we'll have to just see if we are targeting like 500 plus people, then obviously we'll have to check for other venues. At least it gives us some time, right? But for Elysium, we hardly had 3 weeks. If you see our flyer launch, it may be like 15, 17 days, maybe we pulled off this event. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is true, Abhi. It's a very short time, and I can't believe. I mean, it was a house full, and I mean, yeah, I think venue is definitely a little bit smart, but it is not bad. Also, that's what I thought.
Definitely, yeah.
And not bad.
Yeah, it's a proper pub culture when you.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the token lounge guy was impressed and surprised actually that, hey, I didn't know like these many people will drink. That's what he was.
I think the token lounge guy also didn't know that there were so many Indians also
Yeah.
in the area, and also
No, it's a time for him to renovate the place then.
Yeah.
I think he was explaining someone, I think Sirisha or Pratyush or someone, that he's planning some stage renovations. He was telling someone the other day. I was just listening, but yeah,
Yeah,
he's.
he was telling that
I think
he's
he's
planning
planning
for a
some
stage
renovations.
event. Yeah, so he was.
Just wanted to say hello.
Hello. Sorry, who is that?
I'm
Oh,
this is Ariel. Just wanted to say hello.
yes, Cyril. Please tell your positive feelings.
Oh, no, I was very, very impressed actually. In fact, I was telling Renu, I should also try to contribute something because I enjoyed a lot. More than anything, I enjoyed a lot. And like you said, I also contributed to that opinion about Indian people drinking a lot. I also helped a little bit from my side to contribute to that.
Thank you. We appreciate each. You didn't conserve any drops, so thank you.
Oh, no,
Next time, Srini, the event closer party should end with some shots. You should, and give the shots to team. We came without drinking,
Oh, I should have done so.
I know I'm good. Okay, Nandini, no drinking. Without drinking itself, I couldn't pull her. No, I couldn't pull her.
There I did
I'm
mention
sorry,
about,
somebody mentioned about pictures. I'm sorry, I didn't stay back for any. I'm not a big picture taking person. I will get there slowly but surely. If anybody looks at my non-existent social media profile, you'll know that I'm there to only connect to my long-lost friends from India. And otherwise, it's pretty non-existent, but I will get more active about it.
Good going. And Pratyusha ji, you want to go? Pratyusha garu, whole family.
మీరు పొగిడారో తిట్టారో కానీ బట్ ఐ టేక్ దట్ as a compliment. But it was an amazing collaboration with Shiznai to start with. I'm glad I met Abhi and Arun, and backstage we had a lot of fun moments. Like it was like a casual chat. It wasn't like I met them, for the first time. So I echo with Abhi completely on the like-mindedness. So that's what helped us to move forward with the event. And I have a lot of takeaway from this event. I have a lot of learning experience from all of you because you've all have been there since long time, and this is my second event. So Sirishaka, Swapnaka, Madhvi, Nandini, it was such an amazing team to work with. The
This
energy.
is the second event too, Pratyusha. We didn't do any
For
events
me,
before.
all of us, it is second event only. Pratyusha.
I see. Okay, this is a new
Pratyusha,
fun
as if
fact
like we
for
were
me.
doing 10 events and this is
No, in general, you guys are like very socially active, right? Like with other Manabadi events or meet any other events.
Yeah,
I meant that.
okay.
But yeah, thank you so much for amazing support and for all the amicability on the stage and off the stage. I'm still there. I'm learning, and so to the positive feedback is the concert was amazing, the organizing was amazing, and the differentiation between the VIP seating and the dance floor, all the whole setup was great. So that was something that was lacking during the Masala Coffee Band, and this is very organized, I would say. And thank you, Srini Garu, for always maintaining that smile on your face and getting the things done. Yeah, so thanks everyone. It was a very pleasant experience.
Great, Pratyusha garu. Kudos to all your family. And I think your brother also dropped another, member, Deepthi, also at home, I think.
Oh, okay.
Pravarshi,
Yeah.
Pravarshi, right?
Pravarshi, yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So Deepthi is part of the panorama?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I met her actually. She had come. Yeah.
Yeah, she's a great dancer also. In fact, she wants to start her Bollywood dance classes and all those things. We'll talk offline on that.
Of course.
We have to help her in kickstarting something. I think Nandini is right there. We should do something.
I need to get
Did you say my
first.
brother dropped up Deepthi? Okay, this is a pointer. I should let my parents know about it.
No, because she doesn't have any right. So.
Okay.
Hey, isn't she married? She's married, right? No. Oh,
yeah.
I thought somebody who came with her. I thought her husband. Excuse me, sorry.
That's my brother.
That's a different.
Oh my God.
That is different, Deepthi.
Too much of confusion. I can't believe you just drank Coke. You just drank Coke and you are like that. We are much better.
Yeah,
actually.
I know. That's why I said no
Hey,
shot
I
to
didn't
Nandini.
drink Coke as well. I can drink alcohol, but no Coke.
No shot to Nandini.
Okay, thank you. Thanks for that insight, Srini Garu. Personal ga ippudu offline en koncham maatladali vaadto. Thank you.
Awesome, Pratyusha garu. Next, we'll go for none other than Shirisha.
అడుగుందేమో శిరీష, ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ మీ.
నన్ను అదేనంటే ఆలోచిస్తున్నా అది పొగుడుతున్నారా లేకపోతే. Okay, so I think I'll not take much time because I think most of the points everybody covered. I would say same thing in just one line, like the energy, passion, and talent that each member brought to the stage were clearly seen. Not just I've worked on several projects in Michigan. itself. And like how Vaijayanti was saying, like they have even more experience, of course, because they are in different various languages they do. I just do Hindi and Telugu, and I've never had this experience where everybody thought it was a family. So one person, if falling back or not responding, other person jumping in and working. I was so impressed with a lot of such small things. I notice a lot. So small things, everything added up. Like whether Nandini dancing and pulling people also added up. With the Bhargav Garu, I had to pull him to the stage for pictures, but literally I could see that he was looking for where he can help. Wherever there was a possibility, he was helping. Like everybody added up. Being there, Pratisha, just being there in the backstage and trying to see where she can help. All that, it looked like a family doing an event where everybody was trying to be each other's backup. The teamwork, coordination, everything was exceptional. Anurag is a known friend from India, so he texted me that he was amazed to see the teamwork. I mean, of course, they've done several shows, right? This is their 18th show. It was. So they, in those several shows, they have witnessed big stage, bigger crowd, right? So he did not compare any of that, but he said the teamwork was awesome, which is a big compliment. I feel it lays the base for our future events. So I think it was a great, everybody working together, trying to be a family and getting this fantastic event out. I thought it was a very successful event. That's all.
Yeah, Shirishi Garu, I must say, right from the previous Masala Coffee Band also, the way she catches up, with the tasks and the accountability is just amazing. I mean, in fact, for this event, we didn't give her enough heads up, and we didn't tell her well ahead that, okay, these are all the things you need to do and all. But because in the last, we have things were delayed due to the last minute for some of them. But the Masala Coffee Band, I have witnessed live how she was coordinating end to end, the hosting and food, just driving here and there and everything. It's like she'll be like completely preoccupied and over what do you call that OCD or whatever this.
OCD. Again, compliment or not compliment, I don't know, but I'll take it as a compliment. I don't think I can do any of this without you all giving me that freedom. The youngsters, they treat me like, they talk to me in such a way that I get that open feeling to do for them. And then everybody, I think it's very supportive. Abhi, I have known him from outside, so it's a different experience. With Arun, this is second one. Jammers, during Jammers, I had a very great bonding for just few hours, but it was a great memorable. But I think Abhi, I know him from outside, so I know how he works. So it's great. I think this combination itself is great. I'm glad it's working out. And I'm sure I'm looking forward for the future events with both of them being a part of the family.
Right. And another point, Shirishi Garu, I have to tell you about you is, even for emceeing and everything, the said, yes, I mean, I have done a lot of events and all. We should give chance to youngsters and, the new people. And that's the way you are like trying to, bring, and then give responsibilities. That's really amazing. That's
no, they are so amazing. I couldn't I have to give them because they're so good. I think they are there. Like they should do it. They're the front face now, so I'm okay to take the back seat and support, like how Vaijayanti Satish do. They have taken a back seat and they always have encouraged us.
Who made you feel old? Actually, I don't know.
Abba, Risha,
Risha,
you're talking to two people who are always ready to get behind that mic, okay? So don't backseat us that quickly. It's not happening.
No, not backseat. I mean to say you're there to support.
Is fine.
No, okay. Let me say, okay, I'm sorry, Vijay. What I mean is
you
have supported me always. Like that, I'm trying to support it. Because I got, I have to give double, right?
No. And you are a little too young yet. Okay, don't get moving to the complete backseat.
But like day one, I have come to Michigan, right, Vaiju? Like I think we are there together as a family. Probably 13 years.
Yes,
13 years.
Very true. No.
She has seen me like from a young, like coming and not knowing anything to knowing everybody and then making like kids, house, everything. Like she was part of it. So I'm happy now. Panorama family is also like going to be part of all
Yes,
mine.
absolutely, absolutely.
And yeah,
Sorry. I said no time and then I said so much.
and another
Sorry.
is the whole community and the public image is something that is that makes a lot of value when they won't see as Shirisha or Nandini or Abhi or like that, but they will look at us that okay, this is the whole panorama Shizne group or family. That is the branding, that collective branding that we are contributing to. So that's the reason, irrespective of whatever differences we have, whatever it is, higher image is what will carry us forward. So I think all of it by God's grace that so far, I mean, everything is working so nicely, automatically, without even putting efforts at all. That's a good.
I think with the negative feedback that we'll get today, we will get there also. Like we'll become more. We have to without preparation only we'll get more good.
Can we become anonymous when giving the feedback?
We know your voice.
Very good point.
Srinikar, if everybody is done with positive feedback, you have to give, right? Srinikar,
yeah.
Can you go ahead?
But okay, who else is left? I think Abhi, you want to add
Is
anything
anyone
else?
left?
Yeah. Yeah, Abhi, Garu,
no,
I
think
I think even Arun didn't speak either.
Arun had to drop off.
Okay.
Arun dropped off.
Only Abhi. Abhi, he asked you only to talk, cover him.
No, I already gave the positive feedback. I think I was
You
the
didn't
second.
give about me, Abhi.
About Sirisha?
Tarvata, afterwards. At the end, we'll give only one-on-one session. Yes, Srinikar.
Yeah.
Abhi sounds exactly like Hari. I mean, last couple of meetings I had in these meetings, I felt like Hari Garu joined this meeting. He sounds exactly the same.
Yeah. That is definitely unbelievable, actually, because the way two organizations collaborating, I mean, I have never seen any collaboration like this, which is like without even speaking. I mean, I can't even tell you what kind of a team Shizne is actually. Abhi, I mean, I was thoroughly impressed. I mean, it's exactly like.
End of the day, I mean, it's just on paper. This panorama for us, just on paper, it's his name. But end of the day, it's just one family. What I still feel. I mean, when we were at the venue doing the event, no one was like, you are Cisne, you are panorama. Those things never happen. And also, it's the way you feel, right? I mean, it's just the back of the mind. It's just that two different companies. But yeah, I mean, we just worked as one team, and I think, as I've mentioned before, we just want to work with like-minded people, and definitely Panorama team is one such team. We're glad that we partnered last event, and we have some plans for future as well. So we'll be discussing with Srinivaru as well.
Yeah, definitely. I truly appreciate for what you are. I mean, the community. I have rarely seen, leaders like you. That's my honest thing. Because it's just happening through telepathy, actually. We don't even talk so much, and everything is in sync.
Yeah. Are you in love, Srini? With Abhi?
Don't say that too loud, Nandini.
No, it is like telepathy happening means it's like, are you in love?
Srinigaru, I gave you this warning before when I exchanging the numbers, I gave you this warning that he is like that. You'll get addicted to him.
No, in general, men need support in the society. Okay, so we are supporting each other.
That's good to hear that I have some support. So I appreciate that. So just on the I mean, I won't say negative, but something which we need to remember is for an example, all our nightclub events, we actually have a 15,000 bar guarantee, and we meet it. So the people who come to our events, they drink heavily. So the reason I'm bringing this up is if we are involved, and if like the people who follow our pages and our contacts are coming, obviously they'll drink. So one thing what we need to consider is having additional security, because we did see a lot of people were heavily drunk, and they were just trying to get on that barricade, and they were just going here and there, and it just is a mess, right? If they know that there is not enough security, they'll try to like misbehave with girls or just, I mean, it's just a security concern. So I think I did raise that before the event about having bouncer, but we thought it's banned, it will be okay. But if you have a band and DJ, definitely it's, and especially like a longer duration hours until like 2 a.m. or something, it's better we think about having some additional security through venue, or maybe we can hire someone. So that's one thing. I mean, we don't want like a fight or something and getting a bad name right outside. So yeah, maybe something we can consider. So that's one thing. Any other input from anyone on this?
No, I
Yeah, I
agree.
think,
I was
yeah.
totally on it,
Because
and I
I
was
personally
also
took
I
two
asked.
people out. I took personally 2 people out and left them outside the door. And
Yeah,
one
after
guy
a certain
was,
point, I was not comfortable,
yeah,
also to get in between the crowd. So I could sense that, and then I think we
yeah,
raised that before the event. So it is good that we have it, that
yeah.
common thing for all of
Yeah,
in
and
our
also
minds,
like,
but we'll do it.
yeah, so jammers and masala coffee, obviously we both did at a same venue. So that venue is a 1400,
Yes.
1400 capacity, and we filled like 250, 300 people, let's say, right? This is like a way smaller venue, and so many people like came up, right? So it's hard to know like what's going inside. So maybe at least having 2 more additional people to just in the crowd to keep an eye will be better. Like we don't want like any kind of misbehaving or any fight, because like end of the day, if we do a brilliant event, if there's a small fight, that kind of spreads and
Spreads
get
faster.
that negative publicity.
Yeah, that is right. There is of course professional security, and as we keep needing, depending on the kind of events, will certainly be a good idea. Not only for internally, but even like, when people are leaving with like 3 hours of morning. So like outside, especially in areas where almost similar to where we were this weekend, so it's like some of the cities that it's better, especially when you're getting such a large diverse group of Indians to be around there. It's better to have that extra security in place, just overall in terms of everything for the artists, as well as everybody who's attending, to keep an eye. And that takes, some responsibility off for you as an organizer. So that also will help going forward.
Yeah, good points.
Mhm.
And yeah, one more thing I wanted to appreciate Shirisha Garu. She's trying to add, like 2 more volunteers to the group. She's referring one very active people. And I think we should expand our team organically with the known contacts and like-minded. If you think that, yeah, somebody is like-minded and you already work with them, because it's not about the, quantity, but it's all about the quality of like-mindedness. So if there are like minds, yeah, please feel free to let me know so that I can speak to them, and then I can add so that, the more the merrier, especially in this and media.
Yeah, just to add to that, Srinigaru, I would say that, Farmington side, Novi side, we need people, because, that's where actual work will happen, right? Last minute work, last minute help, last minute food drop off, like tea drop off, like we had to call somebody else to drop off, like that, So we need volunteers from across, and they may not be involved as much in the planning and all, but at least they can pick up on the day, or that day, or going to the events. Most of the events happen like that day. There were 3 events happening that side of the city, right? Like Livonia and Novi, that side. So if we all were not able to go, at least they could have gone easily with the flyers and spend quality time to distribute. So just
think that's
spreading
one.
across Farmington
Yeah,
and Novi
that's
side.
the second major point I had, actually. I echo that. So I know like there are people involved and will be involved in planning, but I think event day is something which is not in our hands. As much as you plan before the event, that will always change on the event day. So we need to have at least 2-3 people in hand to just go here and there. So that needs to be there, because I mean, we don't know what the band members will eat, or we don't know where they want to go. Like at a certain time, they'll just ask for, can you get us tea? So for things like that, it's definitely like we need to be prepared on the event day. So
This
yeah,
trip, they didn't ask as much, like,
yeah,
they didn't have time, but usually people ask them to
ask,
show
can
the
you get
downtown, take downtown, or, take around the city or something
Yeah.
like that. But they didn't have time for this.
Yeah, because this was last show of their tour, so it's a different thing if it was like in between, and if they wanted to go out and do something. So this all those are necessary things to make sure our artists are like happy, right? So that yeah, those things also spread. I mean, if we are trying to book some other band in future, obviously they'll take feedback from the prior artist and all. So like artist management is an important thing. So yeah, I mean, just not artist management, but like overall groundwork on event day. Yeah, it would be good to have someone like handy, like at least 2-3 people.
Yeah, I agree. Because actually, band trend is now, it's actually coming down. So probably we'll get more other things going, right? Like whether DJ nights or, New Year party or, whatever. So
There were Bollywood nights, Tollywood nights,
Yep.
or there big events like Taman DSP or Sid Sriram, for example. Like there were no like mid-level events, right? So these bands are creating that new culture in the US with those mid-level events. So I think that will be the trend for next few years. So which is a good sign.
Oh, I thought it's coming down, Abhi. So, okay. So probably there's a disagreement. We'll see.
No, it will. Yeah, because the number of bands have increased, right, in India.
Yeah. Actually, if you go to India, every pub, they are inviting a band, actually. And that's where people over here, they're getting more bored, because Hyderabad and India is more happening than US. And you have bands coming here and there, and they love just going and enjoying the vibes. So band culture is definitely on top right now.
Yeah, there are 3 other bands right now in US from Hyderabad itself. So there is one Vadnam, there is Staccato or something. There's one other band we got some inquiry. So right now there are 3 other bands touring US. So yeah, I mean, we may not do those, but yeah, in future as well, if like we get some inquiries, maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, Srinigaru, I think I'll need to drop. I mentioned I had that birthday party. I was thinking to join for 15 minutes, but I think you guys are too interactive, and it was great listening to everyone's feedback. So I just stayed on for 1 hour, but I think some of my friends are waiting. So
yeah, Abhi, you want to tell 1 or 2 minutes about the next Saturday event? Not this week, but next Saturday, August.
Yeah. So yeah, that one is like we just wanted to see how day parties go before winter starts. So again, winter, it would be hard to pull like during daytime. But also one other positive thing about day party in winter is there's nothing much to do outdoors, right? I mean, you can't go to a park, or you can't just go anywhere randomly. So there are less number of events which happen, especially in Michigan during winter. So we thought, I mean, also like night times, especially on Saturdays, it's sometimes hard to like book the nightclubs and stuff. So we just thought maybe why not just try the market during a daytime. So we are hosting this all white day party. It's a themed party, dress up in white. So like, especially for ladies, we are giving like 150 ladies free tickets and stuff. And we are just keeping like a very reasonable price, even for gentlemen. So, I mean, we are just hoping to see how it goes, and like just trying to check out day party, how it works. And if it works, I mean, we might be doing at least once a month or something going forward in
There's
winter.
more tickets available, Abhi, or more they're done?
Those out of 150, I believe about 100, 110 are gone. So there are still about 40, 50. But yeah, if it is anyone from this group and close group, I think we can just handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be okay.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah, see most of you on August 26th, Saturday, 4 p.m.
And I
So-
did promise Srinigaru that I'll have a VIP booth for our team. So yeah, whoever is coming, who's on this call, yeah, just let us know and we'll try to make some arrangements. And Srinigaru would be keeping food as well as he did in our past event. So, and also like 4 o'clock is a good time to just catch up, maybe a couple of drinks, and then we have the dinner time, right? Around 7, 8 o'clock. So I think you are just trying to see how the event goes and take some feedback from people and being in that event and like picking up some points so that we'll see how that afternoon events go in future.
Yep, sounds good, Abhi. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll drop off then. Yeah, have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night.
Now, yeah, we are not leaving yet.
I have
So-
to drop
just
off
for
to
Abhi.
Srinigaru.
Also, to let you know that we have a midweek social every Wednesday at this 9 p.m. Time, hosted by Sheetal. She is an extended member of Panorama family, but she is in the Panorama Light group because that is like not. Oh, okay, she's joining. Just a second. We are going to give her a surprise, actually. Hello, Sheetal. Welcome. Hello.
Srinigaru, I have to drop off.
Yeah, sure. But no, thank you.
I have to drop off to Srinigaru.
Yeah, no problem. It was
Thank
so
you.
nice catching up with you all. Good night.
Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful work.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Srini. Sorry, I'm having
Hello.
really tough time with the
Yeah,
data
no worries.
right now.
No worries. I think I see that one. So sorry, there was another meeting that was going on, and we are already there.
Okay.
Yeah. So we completed it in time. Just a second. Okay. So you are in Turkey, right? Right now, still there?
I'm back in India.
Oh, you're in India now. Okay, that's why the Wi-Fi. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
Actually,
it.
it's supposed to work well, but I don't know what's happening. I'm actually using data, so I don't know how well it will work.
Got it. Good. Let me check. Yeah, your voice is a little bit breaking, I think. Now.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
Hello.
Srini, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. Got it. So how was your overall Turkey trip?
Yeah, it was really good.
Nice.
Yeah, it wasn't planned, but it was good.
Great.
Yeah, actually, Turkey is like a combination of Europe and India. So I think we will really like it because the weather is nice, the people, the cuisine, and it's very unassuming.
Nice. Very good.
So Srini, I'm sorry, is this something for you and Sheetal to talk about? I could just leave. And
No, it's just a social conversation. We have social various topics. It's like a every Wednesday, 9 p.m. we get into a social meeting. I think today, due to some, I'm not sure, some earlier, some issue or something, other people did not join, but there will be usually other people also will be joining at this time. It's just a interactive conversation.
okay. And you choose different topics for each week, or?
Yeah, Sheetal can tell the big topics. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Renuka. I'm not sure if you met. Yeah. So no, we haven't, right? Yeah. So usually Srini and team send out flyers. I don't know if you have seen, but I mean they send out many flyers. So this one started off to make it interactive on social topics and on topics that stimulate thought, that make us think, and it's a bit disruptive. And the motto is that anything goes. So it's a social where we are strictly unofficial.
Okay.
So that we can have topics that are not discussed normally, or get to know more of what is it that we want out of life. And so today's topic is about the cost of success. We are brought up in such a way to pursue success at any cost, and we are not even aware of what really is success, right? Because at the cost of, say for example, as a student, if the student is only focused on top grades but doesn't take care of sleep or health, then when they actually, like, even if you talk about the future of our next generation, if they're taught to only look at the bottom line, the profits, the advancing of a company, and their health is gone, their relationships, they don't know how to maintain or sustain the relationship because they're so used to only looking at numbers and the materialistic aspect of success. So this is looking at an overall, like the golden handcuffs, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
how
I
much
think
gold do we want?
Yeah, that's very relevant, right? Especially, I think when you talk about today's generation and you talk about success, I think, apart from just teaching them about, the importance of being successful in terms of money and probably even fame, but I think where the future generation is going to struggle, at least I think, in the foreseeable future, would be to be able to connect to one another personally on one-on-one basis, because nowadays even social gatherings for boys is how they hang out with each other is done by video games. That's where they're hanging out. They don't necessarily even know how to be comfortable when it is out of their own group of their comfort factor. If they come out of the group of friends and you put them into a new environment with their new set of friends, I see many kids struggling to maintain or basic conversations because they feel so out of place.
They feel very awkward, and that's one of the reasons I actually brought my 3 boys to India for summer. One is doing internship, one was shadowing different doctors, and one is with the grandparents, getting taking classes and stuff. But what I realized is that the Indians, like, it's important to expose them to and I was talking to a very dynamic entrepreneur from America earlier too, and he was saying that the exposure he's had, he's 30, so he's like, raised in America and all that stuff. The exposure he has is so limited to just the generation of Americans that he cannot connect to the billion people in India, even though he's of Indian origin, right? And what I realized is when I see even in tennis courts here versus tennis courts in USA, if you know your friends, then you talk in USA, or else you're just quietly waiting in line, right? And here, random kids come over and say hello to my son, and they joke and they talk to me, and I'm like, this is so refreshing. Why did some kind of success make us lose touch with humanity in such a way that the kid has to have play dates that has to be fixed by the parents, and then you all have to be orchestrating something? Basically, you're orchestrating how can they be a human?
It's ridiculous. Like, I don't understand what is happening. Like, you see kids playing outside, and even if I nudge my own child to go and just break the ice, go and just say hello, he's like, what? No. Nuts. We don't do that. I mean, who the hell does that? I'm like, why? How does it matter?
I think that's a very important point of traveling, because they see outside their little well, and that little well, and I challenged the entrepreneur who was proud to actually say that I don't connect with Indians, and I said, why not? Because that's a big that's basically your audience too, right? I mean, it's a billion people, whatever you want to do. So, and why would you be okay to say I don't connect when your roots are coming from there, even if you've never been to India or been to India so far, like so long ago? And it made him think, and we had a very good conversation, because it's thought to be cool that, oh, I don't know Spanish, oh, I don't, so I can't connect with Spanish people, and why not? So I know it's not directly related to what we're talking, but it actually is if you look at it, because when parents are really busy and we can't sit down, and it's almost like we assume just because we know that kids also will know, which is what happened with our parents, right? They didn't sit down and teach us, okay, so now this is how you play with others, this is how you share. They don't have, we didn't read books about how to share. We observed and we learned. But somehow, because we are very successful and very busy, we've relied on Barney, we've relied on Elmo, we've relied on, I don't know what's the latest, like in the past it was like Teletubbies to teach manners, right? But it wasn't really, so
and even for us, no, like parenting was not only parents, right? Like parenting was done by our uncles, parenting was done by our grandparents, parenting was done by so many different people. Like everybody and anybody thought it was their business to parent you, because growing up, like you go to a wedding and you'll be sitting and somebody will be just random. I mean, I was very bad with knowing who my relations were, and there'll be some distant relatives whom I don't know, but they'll come and tell me like, hey, what dress are you wearing? This is a wedding, and where is your gold or whatever, right? So everybody is parenting. It's just like, okay, I don't know you, but
that's true.
you.
But another topic would be
but that taught us, right?
Sorry?
But that taught us how to understand this fiber of family and relations, and how to handle different people, different temperaments. You might not necessarily agree with them. Like how you said, like you learn from Barney, be nice, be a friendly neighbor, not in some pretty songs on TV, but it was taught to me live at a wedding or at other social gatherings, which happen so often in India.
Exactly. And we also were given unnecessary advice and criticized and all that stuff, but we learned to have we learned, and so it wasn't like an adult issue, because when you were children you were exposed to that, the harsh comment from an auntie or from friend's mom, or you faced it. So what's happening is that for me this is very important, as in like success, that how we define it is right now limited to very, very narrow focus on your grades, the college you go to, the job you get, and then someone you marry. Even that is questionable right now. But after that, when the metrics are all there, and then people don't know how to live and what is success. So it boils down to like 11 other areas of life, which is developing our mental and physical and emotional state in so many areas. Like without social connection, good social connection, and then without good the experience of even traveling, the experience of connecting, being able to connect with others, there's so much more. Actually, even sleep is a success. Like not many people are able to sleep properly. So to define that to a child, exactly, to define that to a child, because it's not acquisitions, it's not what is on the numbers, but it's actually how you feel every hour, how you feel at the end of the day, how you feel when you connect with people, how you feel when you are not stimulated by screens or by discussions. How can you just be yourself? That's a success.
Yes, that's so good. Yes, so true. Because what I usually, like when I parent my kids, I can only speak from my personal experience. Is that I take my kids out to go grocery shopping, not because I necessarily want help with buying groceries. No, it's not a fun experience, and I want them to understand that everything is not like how it seems on a Peppa Pig show, where the daddy pig goes out in the morning and within 3 hours everything is done and they're just jumping and hopping and everything is fine. Life is boring. Life goes at a very slow pace. Life moves at a very slow pace. You got to get used to this mundane everyday activities, and you have to get into that. And also, because I'm also watching how my son is observant of all the other people that are shopping. Like, did he take notice of an old man there who could possibly need help with bagging? Or, did he open the door for the lady behind him? She was right there close to him. Did he miss?
Exactly.
And there were so many cues that he's missing. He's missing so many cues. And I find those areas. So I take him out grocery shopping. I take him out doing all these things so I can catch him. And he does that and say, Adi, did you see that lady? She was right there. Why did you not hold the door open for her? Or, or, there was this
that's
old
beautiful,
man.
and that can be outsourced. That's the biggest mistake that we have we thought, like with success we can with the wealth we can outsource things, we can outsource creating a human being. But like a good parent that you're saying, you catch them on their cues. How do you catch that? How do you train another stranger to replace your energy and then create that vitality in your child that is required, because he or she was given to you as your duty. Welcome, Pushimi. Don't worry.
But Sirisha, I'm actually curious. Do you think these are necessary skills for life in the future? Because I think in the future, I think these guys are going to be in stores where there are going to be no humans, probably. I don't know.
Hey, Renuka and Sheetal.
Hi.
Nice hearing you guys. Actually, I'm loving the conversation. So I'm excited. I was actually, planned to watch a movie. But after hearing your 5 minutes conversation, I switched off, and then I'm planning to go to my room. Aram se, then I wanted to listen to you guys. Please go ahead.
Oh my God.
So thank you for joining. She also, she does a lot of good work for the community, and most recently she became the IT Saru chapter president for Maryland chapter.
Okay.
Thanks,
Oh,
Srini.
congratulations.
Thanks for the introduction.
Yeah,
And I would love to
congratulations.
know you guys too. I mean, I usually, take part in every Srini's, activities, but from last many months, I did not. But, I think I should plan to join frequently.
Yes, every day this happens at 9 p.m. You can feel free to forward to your contacts and other community as well.
Is it just Wednesday, Srini, or every day?
No, every Wednesday, 9 p.m. midweek social.
Perfect. Yeah, definitely I would. I mean, these kind of conversations very inspiring and informative, actually.
Yeah,
they're
Please
very
do. And
if there is anything more passionately that we do as humans, I think is parenting, right? It is
Absolutely.
all consuming. It's all consuming. When somebody says, like, what are you doing? Like, I have no brain space available because you're thinking all the time, oh my God, what could I have taught my child? Did I, is this something that I missed? Is he missing on this cue? And it's fantastic that I'm able to have this conversation so openly because, these are things that are constantly running as a loop in my head.
And that's excellent way that you put it, Renuka, because I really want us to speak in such clarity that not to differentiate between men and women or fathers and mothers, but the research has shown that mothers, even though every human being has something in the back of the brain called amygdala, only mom, have it. It grows a lot for moms when a baby is born. So that makes us become very alert to the, like you talked about, the nuances, the cues.
Oh, interesting.
And so we would know before the baby is hungry. We would have this sixth sense of something's off. My child is not telling me, right? So we can tell what's not told. We can assess what's not being seen by anybody else. So this magic, is actually science, and we have it. What we don't realize is that the guys don't have it as much. So the fathers will say, let me go to the shop. Okay, what do you need? Just tell me. They I'll go get it done. But we know, we put them in the cart. We say, look at this. Can you read the price? Can you do this? Can you see what is this? What color is this, right? So the moms are not taught to do this. And you can see even in the nature, like moms are not taught, they're not going to a parenting school. But because of the successful careers that we're having, the wealth creation, because we're not in war-torn areas, we're not we are actually, like, people we talk to are now part of the developed countries, right? So even if you're anywhere else in the world, like your family, your community, you are developed. So you're not you don't have to have the slow life that you talked about. Now we can do fast. Now we can outsource. Now we can have the kid go to 10 different classes. But the missing part, which actually also links to autism and other functioning behaviors of a human being, is that they do not know how to connect emotions. They can be extremely talented. They can be extremely gifted because they're born with this high chance, of both parents being so successful, so smart, eating the right foods, and or some of the more nutritious foods out there. They're born in pleasure. They're born into wealth. So what they're good at is that the body, the genes, the DNA is doing awesome. And then how do you have the compassion? How do you help them gain empathy? How do you have them understand people who are not there, right? Because that's not their tribe. That's not their community.
Correct. No, totally. Because even like when you go to like a kids small events or tournaments, even you'll see like kids, even if they don't do well in one small event, it's not like it's going to affect their success in any which way. It could be a dance show, Okay, it's not like everybody is going to become Prabhudeva or Madhuri Dixit, right? But if they don't do well, the parents get so upset, and you should see the kid takes it so personally, like like it's a big failure. And what I tell my son is, you have to fail million times in your life. And as a parent, I'm not here to stop your failures. You are going to fall. What I'll do is I'll cushion the fall. That's all I will do. So, I'm not going to help you. I'm not going to stop you from falling. I'm going to cushion the fall, and that's all I will do as a parent. So,
and not many parents realize what you're saying, Renuka. So kudos to you. I've heard Michelle Obama give graduation speech at Harvard, saying that those children, those people who had childhood traumas, like, congratulate yourself, because of that, you're not a broken adult. In fact, people, including me, who've had really amazing childhood, found it very difficult when faced with certain adult situations because you were not exposed to that in your childhood. It was perfect. So to actually allow children to fail, to clap when they're trying to learn and they stumble, because if we don't teach them to embrace failure as completely normal human being existence, because that's how they started walking. They fell hundreds of times and then they walked, right? To feel bad when they fall, obviously, right? They you don't want them to break bones, but I hope they have bruises. I remember our knees were like full of scabs, playing outside. And do you realize some of the parents now have knee pads?
Exactly. Exactly. Like, my knees are still bad. I cannot wear short dresses. They're awful because
it's almost like putting shoes on dogs, because they are meant, like, the more we disconnect them from nature, the more we disconnect ourselves from what is natural, the more imbalanced we feel inside, and we don't know why. So we go to pills, we go to watch movies, and we need external stimulation, we need external the world to help us feel good, whether it is food,
exactly. Oh my God, you hit the nail on its head. Because I was telling even my son and my daughter yesterday that it's so amazing how you're trying to seek happiness. Saying, "Oh, I'm bored, but if you give me an iPad, I'm probably going to be happy," And I'm like, nothing on the outside is going to be happy. Happiness is a state of mind. You choose whether to be happy or not to be happy. It's in your hands. External factors, yes, unless they're, trashing family loss or, something like that.
Exactly.
I tell them you have 2 days for self-pity when something like that happens. Because even when you mourn somebody's loss, it's more self-pity also, because you feel like, I don't know, it's just, I define it as self-pity. So I tell them, you'll get 2 days for self-pity, and after that you have to get up and get on with it. So,
so what you said, Renuka, is like a high-powered coach, right? But what I'm trying to bring to our awareness is that we are coming from situations that were tough. So we're strong people. Now we need to understand the next generations, or the generations that we are trying to communicate with, are not coming from tough situations. They're born with silver spoons. In fact, golden beds and everything, right? They have their own rooms. I don't think most people here, if they are coming from India, and if they had, a similar middle class, they didn't have their own room. They were sharing. So when you're talking to a generation that's set, like, they didn't need to achieve anything, they were born into it, right? So they can't hear what you're saying. For them, it sounds like blah, 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 blah. They don't understand.
And
like,
also,
what?
I'm sorry, can I just add that my son can sometimes think of me as being tone deaf, in that I don't understand. So, so can you please carry on? So how do we meet that? How do we bridge that gap?
Exactly. So to actually realize that we're exactly blah, 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 and there's a glass, and they see that, oh my God, like this parent, like, yeah, sure, high achiever, yeah, but their community, their world of other people their age, in their class, in their little well, right? They are not talking about what you're talking about, what we realize, what the neuroscience agrees, what the ancient wisdom it has been exploding. But what they know is their reality is in front of them. It's other people their age, so they need to impress them. They will be influenced by them. That's it. So it's actually a very tough situation where success, as we define it, is not going to cut it. It's not coming from outsourcing, like we talked earlier. It's not coming from putting them in more robotics classes. It's not at all coming because they're high performing kids.
Yeah.
What you're talking about is, how do I make them human, actually, a good human being, not just a powerful machine that can do amazing things, because that's what we raise them as, right? That's what we are investing our time. So unless they see, it's actually it's like growing a carrot. You can't just program a carrot to grow instantly. You have to nurture, you have to give the right nutrients. Sometimes you don't know why the leaves are all buggy, so then you figure out what to do, and then it takes time, and then it takes trial. So this patience, honestly, most people don't have. And Srini and I, we met even the what's his name, like the chancellor or counselor in Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago. Yes, yeah.
What is the designation, Srini? His Excellency?
Consulate General
of India. And he was asking, he's 12-year-old kid. I don't think he was even a teenager. He said, I need to know what to do because my son plays video games till 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. And when I tell him there's so much you can do otherwise, and he says, show me something more interesting than this and we can talk. He goes, I don't know what to tell him. I was like, oh my God. And I had our kids there and they had a conversation. And one of the biggest things is travel, like where they were taken to a place where they met other kids in a different scenario. And it was not a classroom kind of structure where the people or instructors talk down to them, but it was like a scenario where they discuss, they build, they talk. And it's a whole ambiance, right? We uprooted them, took them. And during travel, like what I do with my 3 boys is that I actually, like, even when they came to India, I let them figure out the visa process. I do not babysit. So one of the biggest quotes, one of the biggest mistakes we do is that what a child knows, if we do, we are robbing them of their growth.
Yes. Yeah.
So we think it's love when we feed them, right? When we drive them, when we do something, it is. But what we have to realize is that their reception, how are they receiving it? For them, it's taken for granted. So unless someone puts effort towards what they want, they will not develop the right hormones in their body to develop an affection for it, affinity for it. I talked about the amygdala for the mothers, and so we are constantly alert. Even if the child is 30 years, we'll be like, did you eat, did you reach, save, keep the phone nearby, because you never know. But that's not love only. It's actually your body reacting because you're not aware that the amygdala is making you act as if you have a newborn when your child could be married and have a wife or husband. So but the fathers know that they have a bit more wisdom around it. They're like, of course, it's a grown up, let him be, right? So we have to realize that, oh, it's my amygdala that's making me extra anxious. I don't need to overdo it. At the same time, we actually also have to realize that at a younger, tender age, if we rob them by doing and letting this amygdala take over and say, okay, let me make your breakfast, let me do this, let me do that, right? They actually lose the love of life. They actually it's actually sad because we don't even realize that what we're doing is creating what we don't like.
Counterproductive, so to speak.
Exactly, counterproductive. That's the right word. Yes. Welcome to others. Would you please feel free to unmute and add, because this is something very relevant to everybody. And I know all of us have gems to share. So feel free, or even just observation, what you feel so far. Welcome, Gayatri. Welcome, Ramesh. So we were talking, Renuka and I, and another word for what we want to teach is fulfillment, right? So what they realized, this Amygdala, men who were given cars, right, who had cars, and there are men who have cars, and then there are men whose cars are their babies. They won't let anybody else drive them. They will take care, they'll wax them, they'll, vacuum the little speck out of them. They are proud. And then there are men who put something on the wheel so that even everybody else can feel good about it when they're driving. So these people have amygdala grown for the car. So if the car gets a tiny scratch, they'll behave like a mom whose newborn is hurt.
Interesting.
So what the science, exactly. So what we can observe, the psychology and the science, which is my favorite things to underlay on top of spirituality, is that the more we can create an environment where the child or the human, whoever it is, has to work towards. It's not like a military person saying, okay, now do this, do that, do this, right? That works, but it's actually a harsh way to go about it. But to create scenarios where they are the leaders, they are deciding, they get to choose, they get to discuss it, and they get to maintain it. Somehow, if we can create that connection and take us out of it. So when I brought my son to do internship, I know it would have been much better if it was America, it's more efficient, but I wanted him to do it with the whole fabric of Indian culture. So he was in Delhi, and my auntie, she is the only joint family that I know. So there are like 10 people. They live in a really nice place. There's like, drivers and cooks, and they saw the whole, for a month and a half, almost 2 months, they saw the whole interactions. They saw the cousins and the aunties. And we live in America, even though we will have friends and, network here and there, it's not the same. So to throw them in that, and then they get to do internship, they get to talk, and it's not me saying, how do you talk to auntie? Did you open the door? How do you take care of the plate after you eat? All that stuff. I feel like it's, unless we put them in an environment, and last year it was in Tallinn, which is in Europe. It's called the Silicon Valley of Europe. So there were programs for kids and adults and young adults. So we immerse them in there, and in general at home. So it's one thing to do once in a while, outside, and you immerse them. That's very important. Also, when we travel, I let them figure out. I give them the map in Spain, and I say, okay, I don't know what to do. I act like, the lady, and I'm like, you guys figure it out. So I see how interested they are. And then I see children who are taken on vacations to resorts, and they're bored. Why? Because everything is done for you in the resort. The food is already there in a buffet. The pool is waiting for you. There's nothing you need to work for. So that's the key that most of us miss. If we don't work towards something, whether it's a relationship, whether it's even a video game, observe your children. If someone says, hey, I know how you can get that whatever, like extra magical wands or something, I'll give it to you. No, they want to strive for it. They want a challenge. They want to, they want the chase. So without that, when they come, but of course, when they come to us, they'll say, I'm hungry, don't feed me, right? So to create that environment at home with harmony, without forcing them, is actually most difficult, because that means the parents have to get down and slow down and realize, redefine success for themselves. Success for themselves is fulfillment with each relationship that they care for.
Correct.
Correct. Yeah. So beautifully spoken. So beautifully spoken. And also, are you, is this also in line with saying that by success, what I am getting from this whole discussion of everything and what I've been trying to inculcate into the kids is to work with a purpose. Like it could be the most mundane thing, but you should be so aware of your own being and your own surrounding and your environment. It could be even putting a trash away. Do it well. It's not, when mom, that I call myself Amma, when Amma says, put the trash away and it's shoddily done because half of it is here or half of it is like, excuse me, you need to pick this up. He's like, it's just trash. Still, you still got to do it properly. Doesn't matter. Put the tray back in, or put the new trash bag in, or when you do something like that. So how do you teach, when they're very young? I mean, now my son is growing, but when they are young still, he's just 12. How do you teach them that, everything matters and, but repetition can sometimes get boring and it could become, irritating, right? Especially when they hit those teenage years. How did you navigate those years?
I have a 11-year-old too. And the thing is, right, it's not a click on the computer. We click on the cat and the cat meows. And we click on the plant and the plant grows. So this is, you know what they say, what you do is so loud, I can't hear you. So how we are is what they're learning from. So in essence, it's a big ego clash for parents. What do I say?
It's like they're showing us a mirror.
Yes, exactly. And we don't want to say, oh, it's on your side of the genes. Like that's a favorite in the couple.
Yeah, correct. Oh my God, all the time. Yeah.
And sometimes and humor is super important because we are so honestly driven for good news, we are such strong people, honestly, and we're driven to create that strength in our children, in our relationship. That what happens is that we forget that the humor is lost, and when the humor is lost, the child is not listening, the ears are closed. So sometimes when I see shoddy work, or when I hear, and there's an opposite problem with girls, by the way. They cannot do it perfect enough. They cannot look perfect enough. Their work cannot be perfect enough. I worked with an amazing teen, and she was as part of the speech contest. No matter how well she delivered it, whereas every time she came back, she would look at me and actually shake her head no, as in like I did awful. And when I see the boys that I was working with, when they're coming back from the speech, delivering a speech, they just look at me and nod, and they could have made up part of the speech standing there. I am observing how come like these people are okay with shoddy job, and these people, this gender is completely not okay. Even though they were exceptional. So there's both sides, and most of the time it's gender biased, but obviously anybody could have that feeling, right? I'm not enough when it comes to material stuff for the guys too. And for the girls, they can never be look good enough. They can never be skinny enough. They can never be, pretty enough. So there's both sides. And again, it's important for the mom and the dad how we model it versus what we say. The mom could say, oh, you're pretty, or this is a shoddy job and you should do better. But it's like on deaf ears because they're happy in their own world that's completely surrounding. Like you don't see their world, but it's invisible, imaginary around their head, and it's their friends, their podcasts, whatever, their influencers influencing them. So the best way is humor and getting down on the floor with them. So once when I was volunteering, back then it was very regular. before COVID in a nursing home where all the grandmas and grandpas are, and I would take my kids with me too. And I would always not call them seniors, but grandma and grandpa. And I would ask them, bring something if they were young, coloring, show them how you color, talk about the bird you colored, whatever, right?
All right.
In that process, one grandma gave me an amazing advice. She said, if you want children to do anything, like say, for example, do a good job taking the dishes out, you can't command and then go do something else. You have to be with them. You have to laugh, talk, converse with them where they actually forget you're a parent and that good energy is there. And together you're putting the dishes away. I never forgot that, because if I want them to be exceptional at something, they have to see me enjoy it, not that, oh my God, I need to put this away. Someone is coming. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, this is not right. I can't believe your dad did this. None of that works.
Correct.
The energy only gets transmitted. That's it. Correct. So if I am enjoying doing a great job with putting away the dishes, with the way I am connecting with people, with the way whatever it is that I want them to do, that's the only that's the only unconscious way that you can do it. You cannot consciously tell them. You can and see how far you go. But if you want them to go above and beyond what you've said, like, I put the trash out. I'm so happy that the trash can, I actually literally feel really happy when the trash guy comes and takes up everything. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah, I am. On some really hot days, I actually want to leave them some cold drinks and everything because I'm that excited about trash.
That would be nice. Exactly. Yeah. So they see those things. They see how much we enjoy doing whatever, right? It could be cleaning a closet. And if, in fact, once my son even said, how do you get so happy and you're faced from morning till night with doing certain things that I would hate? And I laughed at it because that's his observation as a teenager. But what I realized afterwards is that slowly that takes over. When they are maturing, they know that this is the foundation I laid. That's the seed. They don't need to copy me right away. And in fact, it's abnormal if a teen and a kid is perfect all the time, putting trash out. It's almost like what?
Robotic.
Mr. Beavers. What is that? Leave it to the Beavers or something like the black and white show back then. I don't think we know, but I've seen a few times.
I don't know.
They call the mom and dad sir and ma'am.
Oh, really?
And they listen.
I don't know.
And this is the age where the kids were seen but not heard. So imagine perfect robots. If that's where we're going, then there's something wrong. Like Sadhguru says, after 12 or after 15, I forgot. They said he said if the child listens to you as a parent, you have successfully brain damaged them. So they are supposed to push back. We are supposed to, emulate.
Challenge.
And this is a 20-year contract, right? That we hope by 8 years, by 10 years, okay, did you get it? Did you get it? So we keep forgetting and we treat them as little adults, but they're not. They're growing. They're not done growing until like 25 or something, their brain. That's why one of the things that neuroscience
we are still learning, right? As parents, we learn every day with them. With them, you're learning this art of doing it because each child, it's so amazing. You provide both I have 2 kids. You provide the same environment to both the kids, same exact environment, same exact nutrition, same exact exposure to different things, but their personalities are so different. It's not necessarily just gender, but it's just their personality traits,
Exactly. And to give them that respect that, I am still learning. And many times I could say, I don't know. Let's figure this out. And so a big part of even in my coaching with the youth was that so one of the points that we would do is that when each one has to talk about one challenge and everybody advises them. And you have to watch these teenagers advising this one teenager, right? Everybody comes up with the noble version of themselves and tells them, oh my God, do you even realize how amazing you are? So when you put them in a position of leadership, when you put them in a position of actually parenting someone else, they grow.
They grow.
That that community of that energy of being there for each other, it happens if you have close friends, and if these kids are connected, right, then they'll support each other. But now imagine for those that can't have friends, or this is not an issue that the friends can deal with, or this is something outside, or that they don't want to talk to the friends. And now imagine in the past we had aunties, uncles, like you were talking about, where assuming everybody had the right intention and right knowledge, but to belong right now to a forward growing group, a progressive group that's inclusive of everybody, and that actually where you feel safe and you feel like friends, that you're playing games, and you get to open up, you get to talk, and then you are also listening to something new, insights that you haven't heard before. So this kind of growth oriented environment is where I take my kids, because I want them to realize it's not just me telling them things. I want them to listen to other global leaders. I want them to see kids whose parents are invested and are, creating this experience for them, and to actually physically moving, that's very important together. So many parents sit on the sidelines and let the kids go. So why not? Why are we unhealthy enough, so unhealthy that we can't join the kids? So I join my boys in many places, and sometimes I can, but most of the time I'm there. So they see me. So this is the thing, right? This is one story that I've shared before that really caught my attention. There was a king whose son was not doing well. He was acting crazy. He wasn't doing anything, and the king was worried. I'm like, this is supposed to be the future king, right? So the king put out notice that anybody can cure my son. Sorry? Yeah, anybody that can cure my son, please come. And everybody tried, and he was acting crazy, so nobody could take care of him. Finally, so he was basically like in the mud, in the forest, like doing whatever, nothing related to being a prince. So then this yogi comes and says, you can't ask me questions, but you can give me time and I'll do whatever. You can observe, but you can't ask me questions. Like, why are you doing? The king is like desperate. He says, do whatever. I trust you. So the yogi observes what the prince is doing. He's in mud. He's wearing like an underwear, that's it. And he's pouring mud on himself, and he's in some dark caves, and not dark caves, like, like little dug up things. So he's basically very dirty and deep somewhere. And when he says, he goes, what are you doing? Like, with good energy. He goes, oh my God, I'm having so much fun. This mud is so good. Like, it's so soft on my skin. And he goes, wow, that looks like so much fun. He goes, yeah, it is. Do you want to join? And the yogi is like, yeah, of course. And then he also, is in his underwear. And then he joins. Basically, imagine they're swimming in mud, right? He goes, this is right. This is so fun. So what he did was he matched the energy of the kid, right? And then, so the kid is like thinking, oh, you're not someone that's here, one more adult to tell me what to do. One more someone criticizing me and giving me free advice. You're actually letting me be a kid and enjoying my energy, right? So slowly, so now that the connection is established, he'll say, hey, you know what? I see some water over there. I think it would be equally fun if we do the water. What do you think? And the kid has established the connection now. So he's like, yeah, sure. So now they're outside the mud pit, and now they're throwing water, right? So now he had the son, the prince, clean. Later on, he goes, you know what? I see all these clothes and they're so much fun. Like, what do you think? And he was like, yeah. So pretty soon, like, what about this? What about that? Like, the horse is so interesting. Why don't we try the horse riding? Why don't we try this? Why don't we try that? And then pretty soon, in a matter of months, right, he had the prince understand that it's actually fun to do so many things. And that's when he came back into the position of being a prince, because now he's equipped with everything. He did not tell him what to do. He matched the energy, and he was part of it. And this is how we do the trash. We do the dishes out, the keeping the room clean, because it's you that has the remote. It's your energy that's the remote to the child, or to any other relationship. This can extend to the relationship too.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Yes. It's all about the energy. Yes.
Exactly. So we unfortunately, no matter how much love we profess, we want a remote control outside ourselves so that we can click the button and the kid behaves. And I've said that before too, when people say, oh, we want our kids to be more Hindu or more whatever religion, more Indian or more involved, or they should know Sanskrit. My question to the parents was, do you exude that for your child to be, or do you treat your child to be robots so that they're perfect, but you don't need to be? Oh, I'm smoking, but you shouldn't.
Yeah.
How far does that go?
Correct.
So yeah, and to
No, it's
allow
so
them to
true.
see that we can be uncomfortable, as in like we can push ourselves, we can be scared, we take on acts that are not comfortable for me, right? So then I am giving them without telling them that you guys can do that too. So
Yeah.
they're constantly they do seek validation from parents, even though they're influenced by their peers, but the validation cannot come from our mouth.
Yeah, it has to come through actions and
It has to
involvement.
come from energy, actually, more than actions, the energy. Because you could be scared and you will still do it, right? But they see,
Yeah.
what do you do with fear? How do you handle your failure? So we
Yeah.
can tell them, it's okay to fail, but they should see me fail and they should see
Yeah.
me suffer, and then come out of it.
Yeah.
But when we are very successful in creating the 9 to 5 or whatever, 24/7 entrepreneurship, right? All that stuff, right? When do we take time outside of that? So that's why for me, creating, redefining success is so super, super, super important. If that's what you want for the welfare of your, the next generation, of your relationships, because it's a routine otherwise.
Yes. Yeah. No, we have to redefine success. We have to redefine role models for the kids in terms of who they want to even emulate or who they read even. That's my issue also, Sheetal. Also that, there's so much hype about Elon Musk and there's so much hype about Bill Gates, or there's so much hype about all these people. But, I think we should also be writing about all the other purposefully working leaders or, community leaders, probably even in Africa or Uganda, or, if we could have more, the kids would also have those things to read about, right? Yes, I try to go to the library, get them all these different books so they can read about, different, how success can look different, right? Like how Abdul Kalam was successful, but he was not rich by the long stretch of the word, right? So so even to change the very definition of the word success by showing them different role models who've already done it.
Exactly.
But the media is also so focused on this type of success that I don't necessarily think is fulfilled living or
Yes.
successful living.
You're on to it, actually, Renuka. You're on fire, and I really feel really happy listening to you. I listen to the passion in your voice, and I'm very I feel secure in our next generation to listen to parents like this, because what you're saying is absolutely true. It's, yes, we can get books from the library. Again, it's one more reading, right? One more task. So what I love for my kids is that, and it's an ongoing thing, is to have a discussion, is to, watch something, do something. And it's not just me and them, there will be other kids too. So unless we have examples of where, they need to see their peers also say, oh yeah, that's so cool, Abdul Kalam is cool, right? They somehow, even though they will not tell us with their mouth that it's not just you, it's not enough for you to tell me. I need to see my group of friends that I adore, and I just wanna, in there at that age, they think the rest of their lives they want to be with their friends. They need to also approve, or else no boy wants to be seen as goody goody. I think right now even no girl wants to be seen as goody goody.
Exactly.
I used to be teased as Miss Gandhi, and I realized that I have to connect with my audience in such a way that the message gets across. So it's not enough that I come as in my head the perfect girl or the perfect lady conveying something, then they'll see, oh, she's better than me, so I will never achieve that, and so the message is lost. I need to go down in that level, like the yogi did with the prince, right? And I'm not saying I have to go down in a bad way. I'm saying if that's what they want. I, by the way, like not at all interested in watching TV, movies, or anything. But rarely I will sit with my kids just to understand, just to enjoy. And they shouldn't feel like, that's more important. They shouldn't feel like mom is sacrificing her time to watch something with us at our range. I actually, like, I think during COVID time, I was like, it wasn't acting, but I took on the role because that's important to me. So I would say, I want to watch this anime. It sounds so fun, so interesting. What is it that you're into anime? And then they'll show me that there's a father value in there, there's a mother value in there, how they have, like, if we have the golden eyes, we can see good in everything, right? And so I could see good in what the kids were watching, the anime, and I was like, wow, that's so interesting. And I loved, I think it's called Hunter x Hunter. There's a kid called Gon or something. He's like almost like Rama, right? It's almost like the best kid out there. And you wouldn't expect that in some kiddie, Japanese, something like, I'm talking about a typical parent. They'll just think you're wasting time or watching something, some new fad. So I loved it so much. My youngest learned how to draw him and he's so proud. And I had gone, on some lampshade. So they should see me, that I'm one of them. So when we have discussions, it's almost like we are for young energy people who are discussing a case. And then remember the yogi put dirt on him, was muddy along with the kid. And then when it's my time and I say, I would have them sit down and do meditation with me. I would have them, do gardening with me. Things that teenagers might say, not now or later. But I've connected with them at their level in the other areas of life during the day, during maybe not every day. So now, when you think about being in your youth, your friends, right? One friend wants to do something that you don't want to, but because of that friendship, you'll say, okay, fine. And you won't even realize that you're sacrificing anything. I'm not talking about bad habits, but like, it's okay, let's go. And you'll say, okay, fine, my friend is saying I'll go. So I create that energy so that, like when they write Mother's Day cards or something, even my youngest, he goes, thank you, Amma, for creating fun in everything we do. And I realized I was doing everything very geeky with him. I wasn't doing, video games. I wasn't doing movies. I wasn't doing, there were no play dates either. But those geeky things, he could see that energy that we carry with ourselves is what is teaching them. It's not me, it's my energy.
It's your energy. Fantastic. Yeah.
So when I have them sit with me and do, and I will not say I'll do 30 minutes, so you do 30 minutes. No, it's like, you know what? Actually, I want us to do other things, but can we do like 10 minutes today? And they'll be like, okay. So I am not preaching them, and I remind my mom not to preach them the importance of meditation, how it's makes us be wiser, make good decisions, not get carried away by your friends. Like, she wants to give all this preaching. I tell her, no, there is no reason. I'm gonna act like this is done. So hey guys, so 10 minutes we're sitting, or 5 minutes. After that, can we do this? And I will try to sandwich it between two things that they would like, so that they're listening to me and I'm not giving them any explanation. So one of the recent research experiments that I found out from Vishen Lakhiani, Mind Valley founder, is that they did an experiment in Japan with in college. So they told the professor that of the 30 students in his class for that year, 20 of them are geniuses. And the 20 students, or none of the students, knew this kind of experiment was going on. But the professor knew that, oh my God, among these 30 or 20 geniuses, that's it. They didn't tell him who, they didn't tell him anything else, but they confirmed. And this was obviously not true. But just the fact that one professor had this intention, that these I'm teaching geniuses.
Yeah.
The way he taught changed, the way he perceived their answers. They could have dumb answers saying like, oh, I don't understand. Like, wow, I need to explain in a way that, Einstein can understand, right? Einstein was asking questions that were considered to be completely dumb, right?
Yeah.
But the way he perceived mattered. So his energy in teaching, in being around these students mattered way more than what the students actually were. So at the end of the year, 20 geniuses emerged.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, and they didn't even know. So what is most important here is that the way we see our children, right? Not as broken little adults that we need to train, but as this impeccable energy that came through us. And it's an experiment, and it's an honor. It's an honor
Such a
on
privilege.
how exactly on how we learn from them. Allow them to be allow them to explore life in their own way. And according to Khalil Gibran, a poet, I'm not sure if you guys know, but he's
I
from the
do.
Middle East. Yeah. So what is his take on that, right? He says, children are not yours. They come through you, but they're not yours. And his analogy is that if, he shows like a pregnant belly with the child, and then the symbolism of the pregnant belly is that you are the couple have the bow and arrow, and so you're not holding on to the arrow, right? You're just giving the energy, the potential energy coming from pulling the string as far back as possible. And then if you imagine each child is like an arrow, you're only letting them rest very gently on your finger, and you're releasing them. And the way, the energy with which you give them, right? You're not responsible for where the arrow ends up. You're only responsible for the amount of positive energy, enthusiasm, exuberance, the love of life to give your child, and let them rest. And on you're supporting them. You're not holding on to them. You're not holding. If you hold on to the arrow, all newcomers trying bow and arrow, they know that the arrow doesn't go any far if you hold on to the arrow.
All right.
You have to let it rest and then release. That's like the let go, right? Now, how the arrow goes off with the energy impetus you've given you is supposed to be in your lifetime. We're not supposed to see where the child ends up. That's how far they're supposed to go. We're not supposed to even understand. Now imagine parents who define, oh, you're going to be an engineer, you're going to be a doctor, and now you're going to study for it. Versus those parents who are saying, explore the world, see what is it, because we are limiting them when they come with infinite potential. And just like we're limiting ourselves. And again, like the example of if we define success only as a very limited financial gain, but not know how to connect with nature, not know how to have what is a healthy lifestyle that this body needs, right? What is it what is fulfillment? What is vitality? And what is being powerful? Is powerful connected only with the bank account, only with your fame, only with your status, only with the Tesla? No, right? So being powerful is something you see a child in a diaper and it could be stinky and he's powerful. He's like ruling the world. So he doesn't have any conditions. And to me, that's very important on how we fuel our mind, because that's how they will fuel their mind eventually. Maybe not right in front of us, but so good practices that we could do, if we have time enough at the end of the day, so we can journal, we can meditate, we can actually, feel good. They want to see, they don't need a successful mom and dad. They need a happy mom and dad. They need a content mom and dad.
Yep.
And so we can't orchestrate all of this from external means, like you already shared, Renuka. It's more about being, how are we? And so the most successful way we can be is to love maybe not every minute, but why not? Like go towards that where you love what you're doing, you feel good where you are. And that's the success that I would want and you would want them to imbibe, right?
Right. No, totally.
Yeah.
So well spoken, especially the thrust of the arrow actually gave me goosebumps because that's fantastic.
Yes, I loved. Actually, if possible, watch the movie called The Prophet. It's a cartoon movie, and it is all about Khalil Gibran's philosophy on
Actually have the
relationship.
book. My husband is an avid reader, and I think he was reading the book, and I've read a few pages. I have that huge book of Khalil Gibran.
Oh, actually, that's a very good movie to watch with kids.
Oh, Prophet? Oh, I'll watch it.
Yeah, The Prophet.
Can you
I'm
say
not
that
sure where
again?
it's
What's the
available.
movie name?
The Prophet.
The Prophet. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure there are other Hollywood The Prophet. So watch out for one that's a cartoon, and of course the name Khalil Gibran has to be there, because I know there's some mafia movie or something like that, or even like a Messiah movie called The Prophet, but this is Khalil Gibran's.
Prophet.
Yeah, and most important takeaway for me is that who am I? And that's how they will be my reflection, because the ultimate truth is what I see is my reflection, my resound, and my reactions, right? So my energy is what is reflected back to me.
Yeah, so true. So true. Like
So,
even
and
with
we're not
plants,
meant
like
to be perfect. Sorry, go ahead.
we can, in a very small, very live example right before our eyes, we can see just by raising a plant. I've seen the energy that you put towards, right? A plant, like sometimes I have friends that come home and say, why is this plant not growing in my house and it's growing here? And I tell them it's the energy. I mean, there's something about it. You talk to them, you nurture them, you cherish that environment that you put them in. Of course, it's also lighting. It's also water. But once you do that, they do well. Actually, they do well.
Yeah.
Oh, I have one live example. I have a plant in my house. It is there for 15 years, and I didn't care for it. I mean, somehow it is surviving. But then once I thought, like, this is living with us for 15 years. I should really thank the plant. I really, I'm sorry that I didn't take care of it. And immediately it got another thing sprouted from the root, like another plant came. Like even when that thought came for me, immediately that came. I was so surprised.
That's beautiful.
Sometimes it is not.
Amazing. It is amazing with plants. I tell my friends, it's not a joke. It really is.
It is really true. It's really true.
Now imagine with children, right? And most of the time, as conscious moms, we're like, can you sit straight? Can you do better? Can you do this? Can you do that? Versus they don't hear. I think there is a statistic out there that children grow up listening to a lot more criticism than praise. And it's not empty praise, it's not whitewashing, saying, observing what they're doing, right? The detail. I really like how you're doing something.
I have a suggestion. I need some suggestion on this. Like, see, when you're a working parent, how attentively, the whole day, their emotions could be different. But I used to work, but now I'm not working. But then I used to send them like aftercare or something. I don't see them until 6 o'clock. But I always missed how they would feel, how their day was like as soon as they come from school. That moments are very, very precious to develop a parent-child relationship, which I missed for a lot. And now for that reason, I am just staying home for like 4 or 5 years. I'm thinking that I'm improving, I'm creating that bond.
That's a beautiful awareness, Gayatri, because that is the situation that we are in, right? And I've been on both sides, and I understand. And I was raised by a mom who was always working, so I was always hoping I'll get fever so that she can stay home and be with me. I loved the time when I had any fever. So it was like subconsciously we create these things in a child. I understood that only afterwards, that I would love to get sick so that mom and dad are there pressing my feet and fanning me and not going to work. And that's made my decisions too different when I had my kids. That's why they say, even for relationship, we are all talking about children now, and Srini is there, but most of the time this affects even relationships. So when you meet in the evening, you're only with this person that's a stranger pretty much for a few hours, right? And then again, most of the time they're at the office, they're with other people. So how do you even forge that connection with the partner, with the children? They say the first 6 seconds when you meet people, when you meet your family, the first 6 seconds, almost like the elevator pitch, matters. Your energy in the first 6 seconds when you meet your child. So they say even a hug that I know as Indians we may or may not, and but imagine the first 5 minutes, first 6 minutes. So actually, sorry, it's not 6 seconds. It's 6 seconds and 6 minutes. Where your energy, it's all about energy. The whole world is full of the same vibration, right? So when you hug a child, they're like, hey, you came home, and it's obviously not supposed to come across as like, okay, now you heard something and you're going to do it. But that hug has to last for more than 6 seconds, at least 6 seconds. So then your heart and their heart, the rhythm matches, the energy matches. And they might resist, they might do something, but when you hold on to that, a small child or even a partner, something external, all these conscious thoughts, they calm down. And now it's just a heartbeat. This actually sets the tone for the rest of the evening. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful tip. That's really wonderful tip.
Yes, that's a wonderful tip. I loved it too, because, and it's actually very difficult for us to remember too, because it's like, okay, wash your hands, put your homework here, put your whatever here. Or if it's the partner, they're like, oh, what happened at home? Oh my God, you know what? The water thing broke. Did you call the repairman? Like we're like boom, 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 boom all the time.
So actually, like we need to see as an adult, for us, it's easy to deal with a day. Like sometimes we complain, we think that we did a lot, but think about a child, like they're experiencing everything for the first time, and they don't know anything about
articulation. They don't know how to say it.
They don't even know to express their grief or like their disappointment, and it's very difficult for them to deal with.
Yes, and especially boys, like they don't know how to connect with their emotions. They don't know it's okay to cry. So it's actually, how some of the Western concepts is like, don't do this in front of the kids. Let them be happy, or they shouldn't be exposed to all of this. I understand that, but when I look at the old cultures, when I look at the ancient times, we're not talking like war in front of them or murder in front of them. We are more sophisticated now, we're civilized now, but not exposing them to any emotion, even the disagreements between mom and dad, in a way. Of course, it's not like where someone is mean and then that's how it is. That's cruel, right? That's like ruining them. But to learn to make up in front
but
of
then
them,
even in that situations, they should be brave enough. Sometimes I feel like they should come up with their idea, and they should be
they
like,
will
the
do
environment
that,
should be more appreciative if they tell their opinion. It should be open.
Exactly. I believe in that too. I completely believe in that, because they need to see the atrocities and unfairness that happen. If we can't, like we talked about earlier, like there are parents who will give knee pads to a 8-month-old trying to walk, because they're like, oh no, how would you be okay? And imagine us growing up in marble floors, or whatever these floors are in India, hard floors, that when you fall, you actually get hurt. Versus it's carpet most of the time in America. So it's like, how much can you coddle them, put like cotton around them so they don't feel the world? What happens is they don't feel themselves. They feel numb because they've not been taught to face. So I completely agree, but there might be a child psychologist somewhere that says that's not right. So I don't want to go into that area. But I do have observations, like where when you tell the child, no matter what, we love you, and that's not true, because you're making choices that is detrimental to the child. You're making choices, maybe you don't realize it, but you are. So if you're not open as an adult, how do you expect the child to grow? And it's not about keeping the child happy all the time. It's keeping the child growing all the time. For me, that's important. So that's why I take them on adventures, and I tell them, like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not saying I'll take them to dangerous places, but we did get pickpocketed once. And because of that, my 2 teens right now are tougher. Like, I can send them anywhere in the world and I know they'll be okay. They saw, in fact, in one of the Mother's Day cards, I was actually trying to protect my parents from telling them what happened. They're like, Ma, I'm so glad we lost the passports. Now I know what to do next time I lose passports. I'm like, oh no, don't put that on a card. Because Mother's Day cards are usually read by the whole family, right? But I'm okay. As in, like, mistakes happen, failures happen, stuff happens. And if we protect them so much, that's why, people who are gone through war, they ace the world. Like, I've seen a great grandpa who came through the Nazis. He had to fight with the Nazis against the Russians. He was captured by the Russians. He was in a concentration camp. This is the great grandfather of my children. And they left him to die. And his wife was, abused when she was away. And then the only child that survived became their grandma. I see how tough she was. She faced the death of her children. She faced the death of her husband. Like, the strength. I'm not saying we should want this for our children, but when this happens, that is not avoidable. Like many people, right? They don't see the animal dying, but they'll eat the meat because they can't stomach. That's prevented in the Western society. But you see in India and anywhere else, you see the animals being killed in front of you. The slaughterhouses are in the society. So if you really can't stomach it, you won't eat it. So in the past, they were telling the kids in America, hamburgers grow in hamburger garden. So this is a bit of manipulation where you don't expose the truth, you don't expose reality, and then you expect them to make wise choices. So yeah, this is a very good, controversial, and stimulating, conversation. Maybe we should have another time on what is okay and what's not. But I agree with you, Gayatri, as in, like, the tougher they are, and this is one of my favorite quotes that I had given to Shini in the past, is that tough situations create strong people. Strong people create good situations, and good situations create weak people, which is the generation that we're worried about right now because they're coming into good situation. And then weak people create tough situations. So whenever I have Renuka and Gayatri, whenever I have any discussions with my kids saying, but why? Like, everybody doesn't have to do that. Like, why? I said, well, you chose a mom coach, and I really am going to do my best so that it's not such a good situation that, I'm creating weak people. They laugh. And the other one where they have all the advice, they know everything, is that I'm so lucky. Like, you guys are born with wisdom, right? You just know everything. There's nothing else you need to learn. Like, whatever you are at 17, you're going to be at 57. Then they laugh because I want them to realize with humor that they have a lot to learn. And I'm still learning. So if they see me learning, then they will assume they can learn too, because at certain teenage, they're extremely overconfident. They know everything. Yeah. So yeah, I am. It was wonderful discussion. I really appreciate you guys' input, and Renuka, you gave me really good. It's actually lively when people can participate like how you have. And like I said earlier, I'm really happy. I'm really grateful to listen to all that, all that interest that you have and the way that you're raising. Yeah.
So this was wonderful. This is just what an anxious mother needed, but that energy is something that's fantastic. And, I think we all need to check in on it every single time. And this was so fascinating.
Oh, thank you so much, Renuka, for saying that. And that's actually important. What you said is that usually we have a bucket list, places to see, things kids should do, and all that stuff. But without energy, it's almost like infusing your dead body and putting makeup on top of it, but it's still a dead body, right? There is no vitality. So without our vitality, they will not reflect right away, by the way. Just because I am happy, high, all that stuff, they'll be observing, but that's their age. They're growing. The carrot is growing, right? It's not imitating a full grown carrot that's flourishing and the winds are like moving it and the carrots are juicy. They're not there. They are observing. How we are is a seed. We every day we're putting seed. When we open our mouth, we're putting a seed. And not to feel guilty, we're not perfect and we're never going to be perfect. So it's okay that we make mistakes. It's how we deal with guilt. Also, there it's a seed, right? They have to see us make mistakes. They have to see us cry. They have to see us make blunders, because that's again part of redefining success. Like when I coached a teen, excuse me, to go through a pageant that her parents wanted, and she didn't want, and which made sense. But at that age, if that's what I had to work with, and I said, there's nothing wrong about it. It's all in your head, right? Every girl that comes there is already a winner, because it's the mindset. You're confident, you're walking the ramp, you're talking about yourself. That's it. You get to dress up, you get to be pretty, and you get to have a good posture and walk. What's the drama around it, right? So I said, if you look at everything through the mind as a game, you already win. You don't need anything else to prove. You're not doing anything to prove. And when you slip and fall, I actually had her slip and fall just to see, and this is the worst thing that can happen. And then what? Everybody will support you even more when you are vulnerable in front of them, and when you become human and you slip on your heels or on your gown. And I showed him a video of people who slipped. You take the zinger out.
Yeah.
Right? So you go with an energy, whether you win or not, you already have a crown you're born with. It's just a matter of play, Sometimes one car comes forward, another time the black car comes forward.
I have one question.
Yeah.
What is the appropriate age, like to talk about, like they have a lot of questions about sexual orientation, whatever they read from books or they picked up from movies or listen from other friends at schools. But I don't know, I'm how comfortable I am, I mean, discussing
How many children
with
do you
them.
have, Gayatri?
I have 2 children. My son is 20 years old now, my daughter is 15. She goes to Troy IA now.
Okay.
Boy,
I'm assuming they're past the age of even having a discussion, but I understand you're talking more about probably for the daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the ideas that I can give you is look up Sadhguru and talks on it. And I played that for my boys, my teens. And they will reject it, they will not like it, or they will listen to it. It doesn't matter. Our duty to remember Khalil Gibran is to give that energy, to give that support, right? Because the society says it's okay. And that, of course, that's a completely another topic, and maybe depending on the interest we can explore that. It's a completely like a different kind of topic. We haven't addressed this at all so far, and we've been doing this for over a year now. So the thing I did is to play Sadhguru's tape. And of course, this is Sadhguru that we may believe in or we may like, they may not, right? So then I founded corresponding neuroscience, neurology, topics that correspond. So one of the things is that both agreed with is that the age of 26, which is like, very far for most people, is the age when the brain is completely developed. Like now it's mature. That's considered a completely well-developed human brain is at 26. So 25, 26 is actually, I think it's only 26. And neuroscience says the same thing. Like this is when a human being is considered a full adult. That's when they make a decision about the partners or what they're going to do, right? That is supposed to carry for the rest of their life. Because now you're not, how people are like high school sweethearts and then they're broken up afterwards. And another thing Sadhguru talks about is that multiple partners create multiple impressions in our memory, in our body. So that when you look at people who have complicated lives, which is a lot of people in the West, of course, now there's no West, everybody's modern, is that the more he says, go ahead, do whatever, but understand that you're complicating. The example analogy is that, Obama had only dark suits or something like that. He didn't have variety. That means his main energy was supposed to, he wanted it go towards being a president, not on wardrobe. You know how much time we waste like coordinating this, that. It's okay because that's what we want to do. But for him, so leaders, global leaders who are focused on a certain, highest thing, detach from energy that's wasted when they are picking wardrobe, picking car color, picking the dog, all that stuff you outsource. So the analogy that I had in my mind was that when you want to and imagine the wardrobe is messy, it's colorful, he's got this meeting with another president and he's like, where do I, so there's so much confusion, right? In a similar way, if most teens will not listen to this, but again, it's a seed that they can think about it later. But if you see your mind as a fertile land with incredible potential to create things, not just for the world, but for yourself, like your happiness, right? Everything we do, even an ant, everything we do is to feel good, to feel joy, to get that happiness. When you play around, when you try I'm not going to go deeper, but, try with different people, what you're doing is you're complicating your wardrobe. You don't know what you want, and you have so many choices. And then everything, especially at that age, the hormones are guiding them. And hormones are not real. They just go search up and down. At that level, your eyes are like, they're wearing a red glass and they won't realize it's a red glass, but they'll think the rest of the world is like that. So before 26, when they make all these decisions, all they're doing is adding more confusion in their lives, so that after 26, then they realize, oh, this is not what I want. This is not what I want. But another thing is that if they get to know people more without going through and through with it, but the more they understand other gender, the more friends they have, the more they are confident and competent in picking a partner when it's 26. So it's like both sides, because a lot of us, we were just given a partner, and then rest of the lives, the kids see and they say, we don't want this. This is not what we want. So we give them a bad example too.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
They see the dynamics of mom and dad in the house, and they're like, they see how you did it, I'm not going to do it. So they're going to go far opposite.
Yeah.
So
but now my daughter is 15, and then she has 2 more years, like 11th and 10th and 11th. So she's not she doesn't know what she would be doing, but she's very intelligent, very focused kid. But she's just exploring whatever she wants to do. But sometimes
she's not supposed to know anything at 15, because I think even I don't know what I'll be completely, right?
yeah, definitely. But even I want her to explore more and know more to understand her. She loves drama. She has so many interests. I am curious how
exactly. That's actually a beautiful thing a parent can say, is that I'm curious what all you're going to be when you grow up, right? I'm going to support you, but I'm curious how far you're going to go. And I love that energy. Definitely. I think, like I said earlier, to create a community where they're not constantly pushed into, oh, you have a boyfriend, oh, I have a boyfriend, oh, you don't have boyfriend, oh, I know I bought this, oh, you didn't buy that, the latest fad, oh, you didn't. This is what they are like polluted with constantly. So to raise above that, they need, just like people who are associating with a tribe, say weight loss, when I had the health coaching, they survive when they go into the family, when they go into weddings. This one lady lost 10 pounds or 10 kgs, I forgot, but she had 7 weddings during the 3-month coaching period. And she could take food from her house and eat. And I was thinking, even I wouldn't do that when I go to a wedding, eat from my Tupperware from my house. But she had a goal, and she was, dealing with diabetes. And she was, she said, if I did not associate myself with this tribe, that's why they call it Satsangam. right? Whatever it is, like when you are associated with a tribe, you are average, you are the average of the people you associate with. Right now, the children are average of, the podcast, the online, the TikTok, the classmates that they have and the friends they hang out with. How do you elevate that? Because mom, dad talking is just with the mouth, but how do you elevate that is by bringing them or creating a tribe with friends, with family, and like any kind of mentoring program, because it's about the dialogues that are happening there. When I myself associate with people who are talking about disruptive ideas, it doesn't matter what my family is doing. They were eating late last night, but I know better, as because I'm associated with health and I fill myself with that kind of stuff. I didn't. I opted not to. And that's a routine for me. So many people struggle like, oh, at home, they're not supportive. They're not supposed to listen to you. They're not supposed to be a robot supporting you, right? But for each of us to belong to a group that's going in the direction you want to go. So if your daughter is in sports or with the girls who are in a similar in a mindset that you would want, because that's so important. That's so important that we find that, and this is where I feel like parents are losing the focus, because it's not, definitely sports is important, definitely mind improving things are important, but to not associate with a group that's actually premium, that's like top 0.5% of the success is associated. I'm saying top 5% give that attention to the group that's associated with when I say high achievers, I mean high achievers 360 degrees of life. So if she's around people who are all about dating, of course she's going to date. If she's around people who are all about sports, she's going to do it. So you figure out, and you have friends that are going in that direction, because then you will be the average of the people you associate with. If you're with people who are talking recipes, right now we'd be talking recipes.
Yeah.
Your takeaway would be a very good recipe.
But
which is okay.
I actually have this problem, but what if the number of people that you associate are a very small minority of people? What do you do?
Exactly, right? You are, they say it's lonely at the top.
See, actually, I lived in Columbus, Ohio for 18 years. I moved here to Detroit when my son was in 10th grade and my daughter was like in 5th grade. They had to experience so much all of a sudden, so many things. It's overwhelming, and now it's all settled down. Like they feel like it's okay. They are okay with the move and everything. And we bought the dog to help them, like that.
Yeah.
We added one more family member. It's all good, but in this process I have learned a lot about, when I with the move, I understood that role of a mom, like how I was telling them, like, okay, I will be at work, and then they will come from school by 4 o'clock, and then only my worry is, oh, get into the house safely and eat something, and then do your homework. That is the only thing I was worried about. I was never worried about
it's
how
almost
they
like survival. Yeah.
So
and
then that's what, like, I understood that we are not really connected. I'm not really connected with the kids, and then I to make that connection, I'm staying home now and trying to cook what they like, and I just want to express their whatever fears they had. They just have to, but they know, like in the morning, however it is, like, okay, anyway, my mom will be in the meeting by 8 o'clock. Even she will go to work or she will take the phone call, it doesn't matter. When I go to school, I have to get ready and go. That's the mindset they had. They never expressed anything. But now I am really connecting to all those things and telling them, like, I'm really appreciative of you, like how you dealt with your life, like even as a young, how independent you are. And those, when I really actually tell them, that's really giving them so much energy. And oh yeah, she cares about us. Like it doesn't matter how late you express your thoughts.
That's beautiful. That's
That's
beautiful,
so
guys.
beautiful, Gayatri. I mean, it's fantastic. I think no matter what, everybody is learning, right? Like nobody's got it right. Nobody. I can assure you, in parenting, I can assure you, I've not met a single parent who said, "Oh my God, I got it right," all the time. Right? It's never. You could be a stay-at-home mom and still be not connected. Or
oh my God, there are so many stay-at-home moms that could be hooked onto soaps, right? And so it's not there. There is a guilt for career moms, definitely, but there's also the suffocation that stay-at-home moms feel. So what you said is so beautiful. In fact, an article came, I think it was last year, in the Hindu, that said that in India, the connection between mother and the child is at the weakest ever. Why? Because the child associates mother with grades, as in like she'll be happy if I have high grades. She'll be happy if I accomplish something. And this is not true, right? But this is how it's been perceived. So even if, better late than never, the fact that you're being vulnerable, you shared, like this was survival time when you were at work and you get in. But with the amount of success we have now, I mean, unlike people like you guys, most of the time it is like that. Did you eat? Do you feel good? Okay, now do your homework. Okay, get ready. We're going to
because those years I was always worried about my body weight. Really?
Yeah.
And I'm in 30s. Now I'm in the late 40s. But that time when my kids were young, I'm like, I go to work and then come back. I have to make dinner for the family. And then I want to go for walking and do my gym and like trying to juggle with kids and all. So now I don't know. I don't know any better how to do
that. Yeah. It's actually really important, and both my coaching programs were mainly with women with weight and mindset, and youth with confidence and with feeling good. They were all kinds. Like I talked about the girls with low confidence and boys that didn't care enough to go to school. What I realized is that, oh my God, like they are so beautiful at that youth, that I could see the projection if they were not helped or supported to what would happen. And these are accomplishing professional women, and anywhere from 50% body fat to a lethargy to not even take the vitamin that's in front of you. There is everything is around mindset, everything is around energy. I could just see the before and the after if we don't intervene, and how the after, the parents, when they're not supported, how that creates the youth that they're in right now. Because like Gayatri stated, and thank you for sharing that, like we are distracted by our own problems, our unmet needs, our childhood needs that were unmet, that are still deep inside. We crave something too. And now for us to behave like a parent, it's like asking a lot, honestly, because most of us are like toddlers walking around in adult bodies. We want this, we want that, right? And for those that have this awareness and come out of it, like, wait, that's my hormone making me want to go get the snack again. That's my hormones hijacking me and getting mad at my child who's just being a child. He's growing, right? To have that awareness constantly and to lose it and not feel guilty and gain it back, we have to have a satsang. We have to have a group that can recognize that, versus the group that says, oh my God, did you know what my husband did? Oh no, you have to hear what my son did. Like this is normal communications, right? He doesn't listen, or she doesn't do this, or like whining and complaining. And that's why I call ourselves toddlers when we are at that age. But at that age, that we complain. But to come out of it, it has to be neuroscience. It has to be, psychology. And it has to have an underlying like spirituality, where we are in this partnership with, whether it's marriage or we are in this parenting role, because we are supposed to learn too. How many parents have that humility, right?
Yep.
We are here to teach them so that they can grow better. But child is the parent of man. So like, and to be grateful for our kids too, for understanding, for being resilient while we were blundering, right? While we were recovering from our own unmet issues and limited conditions. So just like I said, the Japanese professor saw geniuses, and they were really not. That's how we are supposed to see when these kids really are geniuses. They're really born with
Actually,
higher
I have,
potential.
sorry to interrupt you. See, as a
Mm.
mother, when you give birth to a child, your biological, it's already changed. Like you will be, your instinct says, mother instinct says to take care of child, right? And everything changes. But in society, like how the demands for a mother, you need to go back to work, and then you have to look certain way.
Yes.
And these are very like you don't
Valid
know what to do. If you are a
challenges.
young
Yeah.
mother, you have to override your biological and neurological, like what naturally you're overriding your instincts, basic instincts. How
Yes,
to
and you're right. You're right. I mean, you're like bringing one topic, every topic we can have, Srini, for the next few months. But you're right. And there was a Time magazine. I still remember the cover. This was like 10 years ago. They had a balance. On one side was the career, promotions and everything. On the other side was the biological clock. So a lot of women end up not having children because they preferred career. And then those that preferred the biology that you're talking about had kids at the right ages, as in when I say right age, the body would give, right? Like around mid-20s or late 20s, their career would suffer. So it's like, and then those that are completely accomplished and they are kick-ass, right? And now they can have kids, and they see high school kids having kids, but they can't. So it's like a very good topic to discuss in the future. That's true. That's true. Where you we have to do the fine walk balance, and even inside, unfortunately,
see,
if women
because
don't
we,
support
we need
women.
to have answers for this. Like our children soon will be adult and will be facing the same situations. I mean, I can tell I want to see my daughter achieve, and she's very smart and all. Like again, I know, like in this society, she will be like end up in the same situations.
Yeah,
So,
but to think that there's a solution, there is you're putting pressure on yourself, because there is infinite possibilities. There is no one solution. There is nothing right. Because for me, I had kids very young, and yes, it took a toll and on my career. But my mom, I remember saying, like, give me your when I've had the first child, she said, give him to me for 10 years and just shoot, like shoot as high as you want in the career, and I'm going to raise him. And at that time, it was normal to outsource, your children to India, and the grandparents are raising them, and it was normal. And for me, that seemed completely abnormal, especially for being born to a professional mom. My mom did PhD while I was in school, and we were all watching what was happening. So, and she toured US as a visiting professor when I was in college. So I know what it is to have a professional mom. And I'm a gold medalist, I'm a valedictorian, and yes, I could go all the way up. But I said, Mom, and at 10 years, when he comes and says, who are you, right? What is it? Like for me, I have the life vision constantly in my head. I see the full picture constantly. I don't know, I find it as a blessing. That's why for me, even these topics as what is success? Success is not defined by the teacher, not even defined by my mom, because I created. So it's your daughter's duty. It's her responsibility. It's not yours to define what is her success. When does she want to have kids? What is it that she wants? All you can do is infuse her with such good material, knowledge, with your energy, right? It's not you telling, like, I did this so you don't suffer. And if you see most of the generations, what they do is, my parents steered left, so I'm going to steer right. And then the next generation steers left. So if they had a very strict father, they'll be extremely lenient parent. And then when they, it's a cycle. So same, if my mom was a professional, was a career mom, I chose both. I chose in such a way that whatever I do, my kids are involved. Even if I was volunteering in schools, my kids were involved. If I volunteered in outside, if I traveled, they were involved. So I knew, and because of all the information and knowledge that I was listening, and understanding, because it's very important what we fuel our minds with, right? What we don't know, we don't know. So how will I know what is the solution when I don't know what I don't know? The only solution is for me to be exposed to listening to people I admire, people who already are on a path that I love. So if there is something about parenting, I want to listen to it. If there is something about how to impress upon young people values, I want to listen to it. So when I infuse it and I imbibe it, who I am is what my children will capture, and then they decide which direction the arrow wants to go. I might, want it to go to the right, but they might want to go to the left. So the letting go of the arrow is the solution. To give it energy is the solution, and to let go is the solution. But holding on, saying, because I made a mistake, I don't want you to make a mistake, that is holding on to the arrow, and it can't go any far, because, allow them to grow who they need to be, but give them enough information, give them enough mentors outside of you, give them enough mentors on both sides, both generations. I mean, different generations, different, they could be Western, they could be Indian, not to make the mistake like, oh, so we're Indian, so only listen to Indian mentors. No, it's like their world is different, and we need to accept that. Our world doesn't belong to them.
Yeah,
So
actually, I tell my
very
son, like, when you think that my mom is, you don't understand because you come from different culture, please, then if you feel that way, can you please educate me, take time to educate me, and please talk to me so that I will also learn and grow, because
That's
I
very
can,
nice.
yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. And to actually be open to it, right? Because one of the moms that came to me is that the child says, oh, you're 2 generations back, you're like a dinosaur. And that is a responsibility. Like, why? That's why I told you earlier, like, when I connect with my kids, they see me, and sometimes I say, hey, I'll have to remind them, like, hey, and sometimes I forget when they hey me. I'm not trying to be their friend. They know I'm very strict and I have high expectations, I have standards, I have values. They know that. But like the mud experiment I told you about, there should be pockets where they cannot see that you're the parent. They cannot see that you're an adult. Some people achieve that maybe watching movies. Maybe best is if you can be outdoor and do some activities, or even indoors, like where you get to laugh, you get to share jokes, and you get to connect. That's when you have to realize, like, the bonds are forming. That's where you're bonding, not by taking them to different classes or even talking about values. It's where they are laughing, they are so happy, and they get to tell you what's happened in their day, or what's their movies, or what's their favorite songs. And all of it, we have to realize, is out of our world. And so it's time for us to learn so that they can gain the values from us.
Yeah. That's
you know what? We had an amazing time.
Yeah,
I would love
this was
to
great. How long does it usually take? Is it scheduled for an hour or?
It's only an hour. Yeah, we doubled because of your enthusiasm.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I did not. It was totally unintentional, but this was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
my
much.
pleasure.
Yeah, it's a great conversations. Every Wednesday we have this midweek social, Renuka.
Okay.
You can be an active contributor to interact. That will be great. And of course, Gayatri Garu and others, because these are very highly intellectual sessions and much needed. So it's a midweek every Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Okay, great. Yes.
Thank you. See you next time. Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Love your conversation. Bye-bye. Have a great night.
Bye-bye.